painfully, yet courageously, to withdraw from the Free National Movement caucus.
The Lincoln Bain-led Coalition of Independents now has its first Member of Parliament after Member of Parliament for Central Grand Bahama, Hiram Lewis, dropped a surprising announcement announcing his withdrawal from the Free National Movement in the House of Assembly Wednesday morning.
From this day forward, I will sit as the first Member of Parliament representing the Coalition of Independent Party.
What?
I will dedicate myself to a bipartisan approach.
Why?
Working with all members of this body. Yes, this takes courage, it takes commitment, and I'm convinced that I am doing what I have to do.
Lewis, who says the decision was made with a heavy heart, expressed his disenchantment with the FNM, saying he's concerned about its direction as its defining spirit of unity and shared purpose has been replaced by internal strife and division. The Member of Parliament alluded to that division and what he says is a lack of support within the party for himself that should be afforded to any member over his decision and constitutional right not to support Michael Pintard as leader.
A decision I made in good conscience has seemingly led to a situation where my dedication and my service are called into question. With elections looming, the uncertainty surrounding my candidacy for Central Grand Bahama, a constituency that I have faithfully served, has become a matter of deep concern. Behind the scenes discussions, whispers and implications have eroded the trust that should exist between the party and its dedicated members.
Lewis supported former Prime Minister, the Most Honorable Dr. Hubert Minnis, as FNM leader at the party's 2024 convention. Social media reports have also suggested that Pintard intended to deny Lewis, along with sitting members of Parliament for Killarney and Long Island, Hubert Minnis and Adrian Gibson, the opportunity to run on the party's ticket in the next general election. As for his decision not to cross the floor to the PLP,
it would be very disingenuous of me, having criticized the other side so openly and consistently. I have given credit where credit is due, but it would be very disingenuous and hypocritical of me to now join the very forces that I've been fighting against.
Prime Minister the Honourable Philip Davis and Member of Parliament for East Grand Bahama, Kwesi Thompson, both categorized the incident as historic, with Thompson disagreeing with Lewis's assessment of the FNM.
We need to respect the choice each and every one made. So we respect the member for what he's done and chose, and we also respect the leader of the opposition for taking the positions that he's been taking.
I celebrate his right to make that decision, because all of us have a right to make that decision.
Lewis says his decision was made not out of anger, but a sense of responsibility, adding that it is his desire to continue to serve his country free of partisan politics. He thanked the FNM for allowing him to operate under its brand and his constituents for their support, promising to continue to serve with dignity and integrity. Back to you, Rumiko.
Thanks, Cleo. Well, tonight, residents are weighing in on Lewis's decision to resign from the Free National Movement and join the COI. Our Jolanda Thompson-Everest has more in this report.
The announcement that Hiram Lewis, Member of Parliament for Central Grand Bahama, will be withdrawing from the Free National Movement has sparked strong reactions from residents from Grand Bahama and the wider Bahamas. Many residents have expressed their support for Lewis, noting that he is a dedicated and effective MP.
From this day forward, I will sit as the first Member of Parliament representing the Coalition of Independent Party.
Since his announcement, many have taken to social media to share their opinions. One user argued that change shouldn't be feared or despised, but embraced, urging others not to criticize the man for his decision. Another user asked, "Did you consult your constituents?" While another poster said, "This is the end of your political career." Despite these negative comments, some residents are expressing a different perspective.
That's the best move ever for Hiram, okay? Too long in the Bahamas, we have been here and we only thought about two parties, PLP, FNM, PLP, and there could never be a third party. And for him to make such a move, that shows volume.
That's a leader's choice, if to run against another person or not.
I think that that's a bold move, and it's a move we need to see more of.
He's a very man of his word.
Lewis has served 2 consecutive terms as a member of Parliament for Central Grand Bahama, a parliamentary secretary for the Ministry of Works, and a minister of Youth, Sports and Culture.
When we had the storm in 2016, Mr. Lewis, he helped feed me, my daughter, and others in Hawksville Street in the south, and he was there when we needed water, when the lights was off, and we had Matthew in 2016, and anytime you would ask him for anything, he would never turn you away.
When asked whether they believe Lewis would win if he runs in the 2026 election under the Coalition of Independents, here's their response.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Grand Bahamians are waking up.
The man only could speak for himself, but my opinion, wherever he go, he'll be a good candidate.
The ratified candidates for the Coalition of Independents party declaring their welcome and gratitude for Lewis joining their party, as they say he's made the right choice.
COI has now welcomed this brother home with open arms, and we're saying, come, let's build this Bahamas together.
Mr. Hiram Lewis, you are very welcome to the COI.
For him to make a decision at this time prove that he's a wise man.
For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Jolanda Thompson, Everest.
Meantime, the Free National Movement issued a statement following the announcement by Hiram Lewis in the House of Assembly today that he no longer considers himself a Free National Movement member of Parliament. The statement reads, "We thank Mr. Lewis for his many years of service to the party and his service as the Member of Parliament for Central Grand Bahama. On more than one occasion, the Executive Committee of the party has called Mr. Lewis's behavior into question for certain actions displayed. In addition, the Constituency Association recently wrote to the party requesting that Mr. Lewis not be renominated as the party's standard bearer in the next election for reasons stated by them." The statement concludes that the party is moving in consultation with the Constituency Association and others to identify a replacement candidate for the Central Grand Bahama constituency, which it has held for the past 7 consecutive terms, adding that the party is preparing itself to retain the Central Grand Bahama seat and to become the government of the Bahamas again. Well, tonight in this ZNS exclusive, we take a closer look at a company making headlines across social media, Creators Alliance Limited. While the platform claims to be a revolutionary force in digital content creation and marketing, concerns are mounting over its legitimacy after hundreds of Bahamians woke up Wednesday morning to find they had been removed from Creative Alliance Limited groups and were unable to access their invested funds. Many are now afraid they've been scammed out of thousands. In this report, we hear from a young man who warned others not to join, explaining the red flags he saw, while others share why they took the chance.
They decided to crash and go crazy on April 1st, which was April Fool's Day. I think that is sad but poetic.
What appeared to be one of the biggest financial breakthroughs in recent times, Creators Alliance Limited, CA, is now facing increasing scrutiny. The global short video content platform appears to have followed a troubling pattern reminiscent of investment scams. Users were required to invest a certain amount of money to join the platform with the promise of generating income by completing daily tasks, such as watching, liking, or sharing videos. They were also encouraged to refer new members, further boosting their potential earnings. For weeks, it seemed that CA was delivering on its promises until the end of March. That's when members were unable to withdraw their earnings, leading to an official notice from CA stating that withdrawals could be restarted on March 31st, with all salaries to be credited to user accounts within 72 hours. This notice, however, did little to ease growing concerns. The CA Grand Bahama Facebook page posted a warning urging users not to upgrade or join the platform at this time, citing skepticism and red flags.
When you would ask any sort of questions about it, people would just decide to deflect the questions and talk about, hey, just shut up, just get some of this money.
Nelson Strawn Jr., founder of Crypto Nukes, an educational community in the Bahamas, created a post sharing why he believes CA is a scam.
The site was extremely cheap, despite they said that they are a $1 billion company. They had 35 different companies invested inside of it, but yet no one could name any of them. the owners of Creators Alliance, you can never find out who they were.
As if that wasn't alarming enough. Early Wednesday morning, members were shocked to find themselves removed from their CA WhatsApp groups without any explanation. Rumors of a system crash quickly spread across social media. ZNS News visited the CA office in Grand Bahama, where a person unwilling to identify herself declined to provide any information. Concerned members arrived at the office seeking answers, but were left in the dark.
People coming in, asking for their money. At the end of the day, we cannot blame the ones that work for the company or whatever. At the end of the day, you take your money, you come here, and you go on and you join. Nobody actually, we don't call ZNS when we walk in there. At the end of the day, we can't blame nobody because at the end of the day, we take our money, walk in there, Miss Man, Miss Woman, and join.
Packed meetings and high expectations have now turned into pleas for authorities to investigate. Similar concerns are emerging across the Caribbean, with other countries where Creators Alliance operated reporting issues. The Financial Intelligence Authority, FIA, in St. Lucia has issued a warning to its residents, while Grenada's Cybersecurity Incident Response Team is urging citizens to stay away. The Financial Crimes Unit in the Bahamas has been alerted and is currently investigating.
Still to come.
Chamber of Commerce hosting an installation banquet, plus sports and more coming up.
Step into a life of luxury and convenience with the Commonwealth Bank Platinum Card. From earning premium cashback rewards on every dollar spent to enjoying comprehensive travel insurance, shop with confidence, knowing your purchases are protected. Our Platinum Concierge service turns your requests into reality, wherever life takes you. Let the Commonwealth Bank Platinum Card be your passport to exceptional experiences. Commonwealth Bank, leader in personal banking services.
Come on down and see what Dolly Madison has in store for you. Renovate and rejuvenate at Dolly Madison.
Get ready for the Freeport Business Expo Tourism Edition 2, happening May 1st and 2nd. Network, explore, and grow with top industry leaders. Register today at freeportbusinessexpo.com. Got Bahamian art, straw items, or junk new pieces? Celebration Key wants you. Submit now at celebrationkeygrandbahama.com. The deadline is April 4th. The Pro Cathedral of Christ the King and I Worship Media celebrate March birthdays with a reflection on Matthew 6:28 through 29. God's creation, like the flowers of the field, reminds us of his beauty, purpose, and everlasting love.
Your number one team in the North. Only the sun covers the Bahamas better.
Welcome back. Over the span of several days, major brush fires plagued the island of Grand Bahama, most notably the West to Sunrise Highway area. As many entities alongside the Royal Bahamas Police Force Fire Brigade assisted in the ousting of those blazes, our Matthew Martin Burrows spoke with residents who are expressing their gratitude for the heroic efforts in this report.
In the wake of the devastating blazes, which had a chokehold on the West Sunrise Highway area of Grand Bahama, a unified effort to combat those same blazes was in full effect, with not only the Royal Bahamas Police Force firefighters, but also other entities such as B&B Galaxy, the Grand Bahama Shipyard, and Sanitation Services, just to name a few, providing their own voluntary assistance. The Prime Minister, the Honorable Philip Brave Davis, took time to commend those who made the brave sacrifices.
I want to extend my sincere thanks to ACP Advado Dames, ASP Javon Richards, and the full fire service team for their decisive leadership. Special recognition goes to the young volunteers from the National Youth Guard who stepped forward in service to their community, mobilized additional resources from the Grand Bahama International Airport Crash and Rescue Department, Freeport Container Port, PORCO, and 3 volunteer NGOs. But I want to express my deep appreciation to B&B Galaxy.
Residents whose neighborhoods and properties were greatly affected by the blazes are more than thankful for the companies who came to aid.
You know, sanitation came down and they helped us tremendously. They helped us good.
There was a lot of help coming in from different, water trucks. I was able to see a palm truck that came through, and then the other neighbors who was at work at the time start gradually coming inside the neighborhood.
My daddy's in his 70s. He was in the bush with the hose. So when the police came to help him, I was like, okay, thank God we have some help. And then the officer actually came to call the fire truck that was at the airport. Thank you so much. And also Mr. Michael Pintard, because he came and he helped as well. And I appreciate you so much. Thank you, guys.
And on social media, the outpour of gratitude for the organizations assisting in the efforts is awe-inspiring, with this person commenting, "I love and appreciate you all. Real-life superheroes." Another comment, "A community coming together." And the community of Grand Bahama will forever be grateful for your selfless service.
The island has seen many unfortunate events within recent memory. However, the strong support from Grand Bahamians has been nothing short of commendable and appreciated, and is a testament to the strong connection of Grand Bahama. For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Matthew Martinborough.
Well, we certainly are grateful. The Chamber of Commerce will be hosting its installation of officers banquet this coming Saturday, April 5th at the Grand Lucayan Ballroom. First-year director and chairman of the Public Relations, Brandon Hall, shares how the banquet helps the public get to know their newly elected board.
As well as declaring the Chamber's vision over the next year, whilst allowing the public to connect with the board and many key players in the wider business community in a relaxed atmosphere of great food, conversation, and vision building. It also serves as a critical fundraiser to support the Chamber's events and the overhead and initiative that the Chamber does to promote its mission, which is to advocate for businesses, promote economic development, and represent the voice of the private sector.
Directors Donna Lang-Jones and Davina Rutherford say there will be loads of entertainment and giveaways throughout the night and urge the public to get their tickets. As elected directors on the board, both businesswomen look forward to the task of propelling the Chamber forward.
Second year as a director, and most especially because of the youth, because both of these directors are half my age, so we're excited and we're looking forward to the new vision, to the opportunities, and just to be able to increase our membership this year.
I've always been pro Grand Bahama, pro small business, pro entrepreneur, and now that my business is at a level where it's self-sustaining, it's time for me to give back and give to others. So one of the things that I would like to do is I would like to encourage and see more younger entrepreneurs and small business owners be a part of the Chamber this year, not just be a member, but be actively involved.
That's a look at stories making news. Jay, what's happening at sports?
I know Miko, softball runs in your family, right?
Absolutely.
I know Romel is a big softball Hall of Famer, but a major softball tournament is coming up in Abaco. It's Easter weekend. Grand Bahamians from Abaco, from Providence, a whole lot of competition coming up during the Easter weekend.
Good stuff. Don't swell up his head. That's coming your way next, but first to check on the local weather forecast.
Tonight's weather forecast is brought to you by Royal Star Assurance.
'Cause it's so beautiful.
Art Lucaya returns April 4th through the 6th with steady sunward. From cocktail parties to student exhibits. Get your tickets now at artlucaya.tickets.com and support local youth in the arts. Calling all food vendors. Celebration Key is looking for popcorn, cotton candy, pretzel stands, and more. Submit now at celebrationkeygrandbahama.com. Deadline April 4th.
Hey, what's up, Grand Bahama? KB here. Hey, it's your boy D-Mark in the building.
Jump and dance, and hey, this is Gino D.
Hello, Wilford Solomon here.
Grand Bahama, what's up? Yours truly, Tico T. To let y'all know, Sunday, April 28th, we are going to be in 8 Mile Rock.
It's going to be on Jonestown Fish Fry at the Sunset Village. To Grand Bahama, you all know I love you all so much.
Gates open at 7 p.m. I'll be in the house with all the Raker's great generals. Back by the top tier band.
Gates going to open at 7 p.m. Show starts properly at 8 p.m.
You will enjoy yourself.
8 Mile Rock Homecoming.
Here at Freeport Decorators, we have hundreds of products for you to choose from. Whether you're in the market for trophies, plaques, rubber stamps, corporate signs, any kind of interior signage, stamps, or seals, we're your one-stop shop. We feature glass, acrylic, crystal awards for every occasion. We build all the trophies here on site. Looking for a gift item? We feature pens, key rings, mugs, tumblers, barbecue tools, even bamboo cutting boards. Have something already? Bring it on down. Let us see if we can print that special something on it for you. Need a headstone? Memorialize the memory of your loved one with a beautifully lasered granite marker. Our store hours are Monday to Friday, 9 to 5. We focus on customization. So if you have an idea or a new concept, bring it on down or call us at 352-5557 or even WhatsApp your idea to us at 646-0777 and we will do our best to make your awards and recognition ideas a reality.
The Turks and Caicos Islands, a chain of jewels in the Atlantic, home to pristine beaches, vibrant culture, and the people standing at a crossroads. The 2025 general elections marked a defining moment in the archipelago's political landscape, one that would shape the destiny of these islands for the next 5 years. Over 6 days, I walked these streets, listened to the voices, and witnessed a nation in the Valley of Decision. This is their story. Join us as we give you the highlights of the recent general elections in the Turks and Caicos Islands on Sunday, April 6th at 7:30 p.m. on the ZNS television network.
Good evening, ladies and gents. I'm Jay Philippe, and welcome to Sports Top. And Sports Softball will return to Abaco this Easter holiday weekend with the annual Nigel Boodle Senior Men's and Ladies Fast Pitch Softball Tournament. The games will be played at the Murphytown Softball Park April 17th to the 20th, thanks to Friends for Life Committee.
In the past years, it's been predominantly fast pitch men only. And the committee, we decided to inject the ladies aspect into it, because you will make it the whole picture as we continue to try help build the sport of softball in the Bahamas. I think Bahama Games, I think we may be the only organization that really been catering to the whole aspect of fast pitch softball in the country, and we are doing our part. This year, we intend to have 4-man teams, the defending champs out of New Providence. They are formerly known as the Marlins. I think they're now known as Gremlins. They be coming with a good start. We have a team coming out of Spanish Wells. Them and Long Island have a team mix. I think they're named the Sigillians. I think Delano Cartwright and crew, and the crew out of Spanish Well, along with a component out of Long Island. Then we have the local men teams, the GB All-Star, sponsored by Quality Wash and Press, Desmond Russell and crew. They be coming from Grand Bahama.
Next in sports, calls from Night League basketball playoffs, the Dudley boys scored the win against 8 Mile Rock Legends 102-101 in overtime to advance to the semifinals. In his sweep, Shamar Pinder was the leading scorer with 34 points in the win. In Game 2, the Gym Rats won against the Police Enforcers 85-80 to tie that series at 1 game apiece. Regis Cooper was a high point man with 30 points for the Gym Rats. Game 3 will be played on Thursday at 7 p.m. And finally in sports, Buddy Hield and the Golden State Warriors edge out the Memphis Grizzlies 134-125 to improve to 44-31 on the season, which moves them to 5th place in the Western Conference. Hield played in 20 minutes, scoring 8 points on 2 of 7 from the field. And that's your quick check on sports. Your Facebook friend of the day is next. I'm Jay Philippe. As always, be blessed.
What is Business Fit? Business Fit is a group health insurance package offered by BAF Financial. What are some of the benefits of Business Fit? No deductible, dental and vision care, hospital room and board, surgical treatment, labs, medication and drugs, maternity, doctors, clinics, specialist visits, chemotherapy and radiation treatment, air and ground ambulance, and preventative care. Business Fit, offered by BAF Financial.
While others see customers as numbers, we see our customers as people, neighbors, friends who deserve more than one-sided connections. That's why we are redefining what real connection is by prioritizing our customers and showing our appreciation by putting our money where your loyalty is. BTC customers, claim your $200 Bahamas Air gift card when you add postpaid mobile to your internet plan. That's loyalty that flows both ways.
Attention all foodies, farmers, and fun seekers. The Ministry of Agriculture and Marine Resources is bringing you the biggest agribusiness expo this year. That's right, from April 4th to 6th on the Gladstone Road Farmers Market grounds. It will be packed with exciting exhibits, expert workshops, farm animals for the kids, and even interactive games. Whether you're passionate about agriculture, marine life, or just love great food and family fun, this event is for you. See you there.
Your number one team in the North. Only the sun covers the Bahamas better.
Well, that concludes the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. I'm Rico Knowles.
And I'm Jay Philippe.
Thanks so much for tuning in. I'm getting off. I'm about to go look for Gwen. But that concludes us tonight. Here's a live look at the Bahamas Tonight coming your way next. Thanks for tuning in.
ZNS News is brought to you by the new BTC. Fiber is here. Faster, stronger, more reliable. Together, we are unstoppable. Switch today.
Coming up in the Bahamas tonight, a surprising move in Parliament leaves the coalition of independents with a seat at the table in the House of Assembly. Also, the Bahamas, one of several Caribbean countries slapped with a U.S.-imposed tariff. Tune in for the details. And outright lies. The tourism minister publicly condemns smear campaign against approved Family Island investment. The Bahamas Tonight, the National Report, starts now. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the broadcast. One man down. The opposition's parliamentary caucus reduced after one of its senior members forged an alliance with outside forces, changing the landscape of the lower chamber. Our Devontae Hanna joins us live in studio with the why behind the now former FNM MP's decision and what happens next. Devontae?
Well, Makushla, hours ago, the House of Parliament was filled with members who were set to debate a new bill. Now, of course, after that, the Central Grand Bahama MP, Member of Parliament Hiram Lewis, made a stunning announcement today that he was leaving the Free National Movement. And he says he made this decision with the full understanding of the respect and responsibility of his constituents.
It is with this responsibility in mind that I announced my decision, painfully yet courageously, to withdraw from the Free National Movement caucus.
In an unexpected move, Central Grand Bahama MP Hiram Lewis today stood to his feet and announced on the floor of the lower chambers his decision to formally end ties with the Free National Movement and a subsequent historic shift to a fledgling third party.
From this day forward, I will sit as the first Member of Parliament representing the coalition of independent party.
Lewis cited a lack of support and erosion of trust and internal strife within the FNM among the key reasons for his departure from the party, which he has served since entering frontline politics in 2017.
I'll no longer remain where I'm tolerated, but where I believe I'm appreciated. Behind the scenes discussions, whispers and implications have eroded the trust that should exist between the party and its dedicated members. That the FNM that I see today does not entirely reflect the party I've known and loved all my life.
The shocking decision prompting a response from Prime Minister the Honorable Philip Davis, who chalked up the switch to merely democracy at play.
So we respect the member for what he's done and chose And we also respect the leader of the opposition for taking the positions that he's been taking, because he has the right to do that as well.
Now, with this new political chapter for the Coalition of Independents, they're hoping that it now opens bigger doors for them. And of course, as it relates to Lewis, he says that he now wants to serve the Bahamian people to the best of his ability and is not concerned about party politics. He said that he did not want to join the PLP and he will not bash the FNM. And so, of course, this will be something that we will continue to follow. So from right now, inside the House of Assembly, I'm going to send it back to you in studio, Makashla.
Well, thanks, Devontae. Now, Hiram Lewis's decision to join the still-building Coalition of Independents gives that organization a needed jolt towards its plight to be seen as a legitimate political party. But tonight, Corval Pyfrom examines just what, if any, impact this will have.
Central Grand Bahama MP Hiram Lewis entered the lower chamber Wednesday a member of the Free National Movement ahead of his unexpected announcement that he was jumping ship and joining forces with a party still trying to get its feet in the door.
This is history being made today. This is a member of parliament starting the revolution that this country needs, and there is more to come.
Coalition of Independents leader Lincoln Bain and his supporters standing shoulder to shoulder with Lewis outside the House of Assembly following his announcement. It is widely believed Lewis, a two-term parliamentarian and former cabinet minister in the Minister administration, was not going to be renominated for the next general election by the FNM. Lewis expects his decision to leave will have some repercussions.
I'm sure I'm going to take a lot of flack. There'll be people walking away, and there'll be people coming. But at the end of the day, as long as the Bahamas and the Bahamian people benefit, then it would have been worth it all.
But he sees his decision as an opportunity.
It's better for me to come with an organization that has a platform for the Bahamian people, where I can help to build. I can help us to grow together. And yes, others may feel uneasy. Just need the courage. Just get it done.
As for what becoming the COI's first sitting member of parliament will mean for Lewis in terms of leadership, Bain assures it will be significant.
We are actually a part of government now. We are members of the government. The government is not just the governing party, it is all of the members of the House. And so not only is it not symbolic, we are also a part of the PAC now, because Hiram Lewis is a part of the PAC, and we've been that for this country for a very long time, and so now we're going to continue to be that from a legal standpoint now.
It is perhaps still too early to determine just how much of an impact Mr. Lewis's defection will have on the current political landscape. Therefore, making his announcement, though stunning, perhaps more symbolic than anything else. For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Corval Pyfrom.
Well, opposition leader Michael Pintard carving out a few moments to address Lewis's departure from the Free National Movement. In doing so, he thanked the fellow Grand Bahama MP who once offered himself for FNM leader for his years of service. While Mr. Pintard kept his comments brief, a statement from the party noted that the FNM's executive committee has called Mr. Lewis's behavior into question on more than one occasion. Furthermore, that the Constituency Association recently requested that Mr. Lewis not be renominated for the next general elections. The statement adding that the party is moving to identify a replacement candidate.
To the Honorable Hiram Lewis for the contribution you've made to the Free National Movement over a number of years, and to say to you and to your family that we wish you the best in your endeavors. The Free National Movement as an organization has released a statement, Madam Speaker, that speaks more fully to the matter.
Well, as you just heard, a bit of that statement that the FNM promised to release. We now go to Grand Bahama for reaction from Central Grand Bahama constituents following Hiram Lewis's resignation from the FNM.
That's the best move ever for Hiram, okay? Too long in the Bahamas, we have been here and we only thought about two parties, PLP, FNM, PLP, and there could never be a third party. And for him to make such a move, that shows volume.
That's a leader's choice, if to run against another person or not.
I think that that's a bold move, and it's a move we need to see more of.
The man only could speak for himself, but my opinion
wherever he go, he'll be a good candidate.
Also coming out of today's House proceedings, Deputy Prime Minister and Exuma MP, the Honourable Chester Cooper, says he has taken legal action against what he calls a coordinated local and international smear campaign funded by foreign interests and conducted by paid agents to disrupt democracy and discredit the government. The Deputy Prime Minister adding that the attack is being driven by Bob Cloughlin, principal of a major development on Sampson Key in the Exumas, who has also been a vocal opponent of an adjacent development on Exuma.
No complaint has been filed with the Royal Bahamas Police Force in relation to both videos. My lawyers have been asked to pursue civil legal action to hold the culprits and their enablers accountable for their defamatory conduct. And in addition, I will, subject to legal guidance, ask tax authorities, the Office of the Auditor General, to investigate any local entities, particularly those suspected of receiving foreign funding, under the guise of charitable work. If they have violated Bahamian law, they must be held to account.
Mr. Cooper also refuting what he calls outright lies relating to the construction of the Rosewood Resort in Exuma.
No Chinese work permits have been issued. No Singaporean construction companies are involved. There are no approvals in this project for over-the-water bungalows as falsely claimed. And the assertions that Crown land is being secretly given away is not only false, it is dangerous misinformation.
You're watching the Bahamas Tonight, the National Report. There's more news in a moment.
Step into a life of luxury and convenience with the Commonwealth Bank Platinum Card. From earning premium cashback rewards on every dollar spent to enjoying comprehensive travel insurance, shop with confidence, knowing your purchases are protected. Our Platinum Concierge service turns your requests into reality, wherever life takes you. Let the Commonwealth Bank Platinum Card be your passport to exceptional experiences. Commonwealth Bank, leader in personal banking services.
This one? No. Hey, look, KFC has an incredible promo.
I already had that for lunch.
Crunch your hunger cravings and satisfy the whole family with KFC bucket meals starting at just $20. Get freshly prepared golden fried chicken, buttery biscuits, and add your favorite large sides. Bucket meals starting at just $20. KFC, finger licking good.
While others see customers as numbers, we see our customers as people, neighbors, friends who deserve more than one-sided connections. That's why we are redefining what real connection is by prioritizing our customers and showing our appreciation by putting our money where your loyalty is. ATC customers, claim your $200 Bahamas Air gift card when you add postpaid mobile to your internet plan. That's loyalty that flows both ways.
Attention all foodies, farmers, and fun seekers. The Ministry of Agriculture and Marine Resources is bringing you the biggest agribusiness expo this year. That's right, from April 4th to 6th on the Gladstone Road Farmers Market grounds. It will be packed with exciting exhibits, expert workshops, farm animals for the kids, and even interactive games. Whether you're passionate about agriculture, marine life, or just love great food and family fun, this event is for you. See you there.
How do ideas become plans? Plans become memories.
So you like my new room?
And dreams become your life.
This is retirement.
Do you remember when hope became a house? When that house became a home? Your ideas are everything, and we're here to help make them happen. Your idea of yes, I can happens here.
What if I told you Wendy's has a new burger? With a flavor so secret, it's almost too delicious to handle. Well, now it's time to unlock that flavor. Try the new sweet and smoky barbecue cheeseburger. We can't tell you everything, but we can tell you that it's packed with flavor, including our secret barbecue sauce. Try the new sweet and smoky barbecue cheeseburger today. Available for a limited time.
section of the news is brought to you by Bahama's Striping Group of Companies, where safety is first.
You're looking at a shot of the lighthouse at the entrance of Nassau Harbor. Our shot, courtesy of cameraman Neville Smith. As always, Neville, a wonderful job there. Liberation Day in the United States, but there's good reason why. It's rattling the global economy. President Trump this afternoon announced a 10% reciprocal tariff on several Caribbean countries, Trinidad and Tobago, Barbados and Jamaica, and the Bahamas. That's set to take effect this Saturday. As we hear in this report from our Felicity Darville, the Bahamas was already in the early stages of the trade war ahead of Trump's announcement.
The United States imposing across-the-board tariffs today, expected to cause even greater disruptions to the global economy than the tariff policies themselves. Countries around the world are bracing for the impact. China, Japan, and South Korea talking about forming a trade bloc of their own to protect their region. The European Union stepping up relations with South America and planning new trade agreements. And many countries are looking to Africa to secure food sustainability. Minister of Economic Affairs, the Honourable Michael Halkitis, saying that we were already in the early stages of a trade war.
So there's a lot of uncertainty. We don't know what will happen. The danger for us here in the Bahamas is that some protracted and severe trade war leads to recession in the U.S., which would impact us or even leads to a global recession. So we have to be aware. There's very little we can do to impact circumstances, but I think, as I said before, one of the important things that we can do is prepare ourselves in terms of how we manage our economy, how we manage our finances to deal with any sort of fallout. A lot of this we are observers. We see what happens today. We are in a wait-and-see mode. But we are hopeful that, there's some resolution and we don't get to an all-out trade war that would impact the economies of the world and us as well.
The United States, he said, is our major trading partner and the source of most of our resources. But the government is already focused on trade diversification.
The cost of living, for example, impacting the Bahamas so severely, we have a trade diversification committee that is looking at ways to get goods here more directly. So, for example, you have goods produced in Central or South America, the Caribbean, go up to Miami or Jacksonville or wherever, and then come back down to the Bahamas. If we can get them the very same thing, same can of whatever it is, directly here, then you cut out the cost of all that intermediate shipping. So we're looking at things like that.
The minister remains hopeful that our own negotiations with America will take place as we work to maintain the safety and vibrancy of our country. For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Felicity Darville.
In related news, Minister of Economic Affairs, the Honourable Michael Halkitis, says taxes on other items will not increase to compensate revenue lost from the decrease of value-added tax on unprepared food items. And this despite value-added tax accounting for roughly 50% of government revenue.
That $30 million that is not coming into the government stays with the public, and so now they can save that or they can spend it on something else. The only things that we excluded were sugary drinks and candies, and so people began to see there's change in their receipts yesterday, and so reports are, it's been a smooth transition. When you hear individuals complain about prices, they may be under the impression that everything in the food store is price controlled. Everything in the food store is not price controlled. There's a list of, I think, about 30 items. There's what they call a bread basket list and an extended bread basket. So under 40 items in the store, that's price controlled.
Meantime, as grocers continue with the April 1st VAT reduction on a number of items, the Consumer Protection Commission is providing more details to better guide those adjustments. The list includes all unprepared meat or animal products, produce, seafood, flour, milk, cheese, and even seeds, dried, frozen, or canned items, as well as coffee, teas, seasonings, and wheat, all of which can be verified by a secondary list available through the Commission. Executive Chairman of the Consumer Protection Commission, Senator the Honorable Randy Roll, urges the public to contact his office if there remains any gray areas.
This does not only affect the large grocery stores, but anywhere where food items are sold. And so you have the little grocery stores, the mom and pop shops. Once the providers sell are VAT compliant. So there are some places that do not charge VAT, and so once they do not charge VAT, then it does not affect things in there. When in doubt, reach out to us. Reach out to there is a website. The Office of the Prime Minister has a website, and on that website they'll be able to find a list of items that are exempt. When also in doubt, you can reach out to Consumer Affairs or Consumer Protection just to get some clarity in case you are confused about some items.
We turn our attention now to the latest on that updated U.S. state travel advisory to the Bahamas. Americans have been warned to exercise increased caution because of criminal activity here. The advisory also singles out the country's boating industry, which the U.S. warns is not well regulated, noting that sexual assaults by jet ski operators have been reported. Well, today, Transport Minister, the Honorable JoBeth Colby-Davis, acknowledged she is aware of some of the concerns with the industry, that a review is underway by the Port Department, and that she awaits its recommendations.
We have been reviewing and assessing how we are processing jet skiing and the areas and locations where we have them presently set up to launch for business for the tourist sector. And there have been some concerns raised. And so there was a meeting where they shared some of the concerns, and they also spoke to recommendations. And the port is now internally preparing a report for me to advance conversations at Cabinet.
Colby-Davis also weighing in on yesterday's joint agency operation, which led to the seizure of 5 boating vessels believed to have been operating illegally here in the Bahamas. The operators of those vessels, all believed to be American nationals, were reportedly conducting illegal charters. The minister says the matter is still under investigation, but she reminded that the laws are very clear, limiting foreign nationals from operating charters in the Bahamas.
There have been a number of written complaints to the board of the Port Department to advise of some operators who are not going through the right process and by law. I would have to get further details on what else would occur, because I know that this has been something that we've been getting in writing by a lot of Bahamians that by law have that right, and foreign charters have to do the proper application and approval process to operate.
Stay with us. The National Report returns after this break.
This portion of the news is brought to you by folk called Smart Pass, the smart way to pay at the pump.
Is the Little Caesars Stuffed Crust Pizza. Get more pizza for less money. Only $12. It's a whole new level of pizza with cheese stuffed crust so spectacular that there's nothing left.
Pizza.
A delicious pepperoni pizza with the crust stuffed with lots of cheese and brushed with butter and garlic flavor and sprinkled with Parmesan cheese. Hot and ready Thursday to Saturday between 4 and 8 for only $12. Simply irresistible. And only at Little Caesars.
Pizza.
Attention all foodies, farmers, and fun seekers. The Ministry of Agriculture and Marine Resources is bringing you the biggest agribusiness expo this year. That's right, from April 4th to 6th on the Gladstone Road Farmers Market grounds. It will be packed with exciting exhibits, expert workshops, farm animals for the kids, and even interactive games. Whether you're passionate about agriculture, marine life, or just love great food and family fun, this event is for you. See you there.
We're here at the Nassau Village Community Center project, where over the past 17 months, we've hired over 20 Bahamian subcontractors to bring this beautiful project to fruition.
I've been living in Nassau Village for more than 19 years, and to see a project like this bring great joy and pride to me.
This state-of-the-art multi-purpose community center will serve as a crime-fighting initiative in the community. Also help with the education of our kids in this community and a hurricane shelter.
Yeah, and it also shows what we as Bahamians can achieve when we work hand in hand with each other.
We have the technical know-how, and we can pretty much deliver on any project here in the Bahamas or in the world.
Bahama Striping, the Bahamian company, they prove that they believe in Bahamians.
Based on the outcome of this project, I don't think they're disappointed in giving a small person an opportunity to do a job such as this.
The more opportunity they get, the more opportunity we will get.
If you look around and see the work done so far, it just shows what we as Bahamians can do.
Introducing the Focal Smart Pass app that helps you to fuel up faster. Here's how it works. Download the app on the App Store or get it on Google Play and create your profile with payment details. Visit your nearest Shell station. Open the app, scan the pump's QR code, select your payment amount, and begin fueling. Say goodbye to cash and cards because the Focal Smart Pass offers secure and convenient payment options right at your fingertips. Download Focal Smart Pass now and fuel up faster today.
This portion of the news is brought to you by 700 Wines and Spirits, bringing celebration across the nation.
You could call it a new lease on life for an elderly couple in the Bain and Grantstown community as the government steps in to improve their living conditions. Devontae Hanna has the details on the demolition of the dilapidated home and the compassionate relocation that followed.
On Peter Street, decades of wear and tear came crashing down as a government-ordered demolition brought an end to what was once home for an elderly couple.
We have made a very conscientious decision through our Clear Hold Bill initiative to take this elderly couple out of this premise today. We have already renovated a government rental unit where they will be housed. We've put furniture there. We've provided them with food, with electricity and running water and proper bathroom facilities.
The home had no water and electricity, a bucket as a bathroom, and barely any furniture. Yet Kenneth Roll, who lived there all his life and later with his wife, says he made it as comfortable as possible. He considers himself a pillar in the community.
I try to be concerned about myself and to my community. I have no record. I don't commit no crime. But I try to communicate with people and make sure that they're safe.
And even as the demolition began, there was still opposition by a woman who claimed to be the rightful owner of the property. She says it is her fear that this lot can be taken away from her even as the government pledges to rebuild another structure.
Bring me the money and they can help me build another one. They offered to build him a house. He has clean land, there's nothing on it that he could build.
Florence Roll is the sister of Mr. Roll. Today, the Urban Renewal Authority co-chair Algernon Allen offered this response to her fear of losing the lot.
You have the assurance of the minister. You have our assurance as the chairs and members of the Urban Renewal Authority. That will not happen, not in this life.
Just a few blocks away on Finlayson Street, a new chapter begins. Roll and his wife now turn the keys to a recently renovated, government-owned rental at no expense.
If the family members are so concerned, we ought not, as the government, ought to have to come here today to deal with this. But this is what you call effective social intervention. Clear, we're going to hold it and we're going to build on it.
Tonight, the Rolls can sleep happy and comfortable in their new temporary home. Housing Minister Keith Bell says there is a wider effort to address substandard housing in inner-city communities and vows to do the same for other elderly Bahamians. For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Devontae Hanna.
It was certainly good news for that couple. Well, we're going to check on in with LaDonna Marlena right now for a sneak peek of what's happening, or what's coming up, rather, in Access Now.
Well, Kushla, I know you've heard the stories of dogs being mistreated and left to roam the streets. I think the Bahamas Humane Society, they're hoping that the laws are strictly enforced. I know, Marlena, you're a dog lover. What say you?
I think they should totally be enforced. And I think the bigger thing is, you love your dog, you want your dog to take care of you. You have to take care of your dog. If you want them to protect you, you can't keep them chained up. What are they supposed to do? They're barking, looking at you, you're looking at them. You know, take care of them.
Yeah, good point. The National Report continues after this.
Diet-friendly special. How do ideas become plans? Plans become memories.
So you like my new room?
And dreams become your life.
This is retirement.
Do you remember when hope became a house? When that house became a home? Your ideas are everything, and we're here to help make them happen. Your idea of yes, I can happens here.
A new era is dawning in Grand Bahama. An opportunity, it's knocking louder than ever. Introducing Tract B, Bahama Reef Yacht and Country Club, Unit 1. A prime corner commercial property, footsteps from the Port Lacaya Marketplace, crystal clear waters and white sandy beaches. This expansive 4.8-acre tract is zoned for commercial and multi-use development. Envision a thriving restaurant, a boutique hotel, or an entertainment hub unique to your vision come to life. You can live, work, play, and learn in paradise when you seize this rare opportunity today. Collaborate with DEFCO and let's shape the future of Grand Bahama Island together.
Do you ever just want more?
But wait, there's Marco's! Introducing the More Marco's menu, packed with your favorites starting at just $6. Like our warm, golden baked cheesy bread, crispy stuffed risotto. How about a hot, fresh, medium one-topping pizza, subs, calzones, pizza bowls, and more. Starting at just $6. Certain restrictions apply. More variety, more value, more Marco's. Order today at Marco's Pizza, Bahamas.
The internet isn't just for surfing. There's a sea of shoppers buying online, and you can connect with them on Tingsy. Tingsy is the SBDC's online storefront built for Bahamians. Take your business to the next level by selling to customers online, both at home and around the world. People want Bahamian things, and if you got things to sell, sell on Tingsy. Find out how you can connect with a sea of buyers by visiting TingsyBahamas.com.
And that does it for the National Report, but stay close. The Bahamas Tonight continues with Access Now.
Get ready for the biggest night in Bahamian entertainment. The 6th Annual Elevation Awards is back. Bigger, bolder, and unforgettable. Join your host, Sawyer Boy, April 5th at 6 p.m. at the Andre Rogers Baseball Stadium for an electrifying night of live performances from Nishi LS, Iron Store, Johnny Cake, Wendy 242, Iman, Jay Shepard, and more. Tickets just $100. Get yours now at theelevationawards.com. That's the 6th Annual Elevation Awards, live on ZNS TV 13, April 5th at 6 p.m. Elevate the culture. Celebrate the stars.
Tourism today. Bahamas tourism today.
At this year's Long Island Mutton Festival, both locals and visitors alike were treated to a taste of the island's famous delicacies.
We're here this weekend to celebrate mutton. Long Island is always known for mutton. This is something that we look forward to every year. This year we have made the festival bigger and better, and we're just aiming to go forth in that same direction. This is our 6th annual Mutton Festival. We started back in 2018, and every year it just gets better. We have Bouncing Castle, Kitty Corner, we have culinary demonstrations, we have mixology demonstrations, we have farmers market where we have local artisans on site showcasing their artwork, their straw work, the produce that they grow. Our festival is just to grow in the right direction, especially for the vendors.
Firstly, the star of the show that everybody has been waiting for, I did a whole roasted goat, and then after we carve up the goat, I also have a demonstration of me cooking a creamy polenta along with curried mutton.
So today, I made a Casamigos, Reposado, Hibiscus, and a Rosemary Margarita. You know, pairing this cocktail with, you know, a mutton entree creates a harmonious blend of flavors that enhances, you know, this overall culinary experience here at the Mutton Festival. So, you know, the margarita's floral and herbal notes complement the rich and savory taste of the mutton. So the mixology component was well received by locals and visitors. You know, nothing brings people together like food and beverage. You know, what made it even better for them was, you know, we used the local moonshine. And they were very happy to know that they can now consume moonshine in a cocktail rather than just drinking it straight up.
For more tourism updates, visit Tourism Today or Bahamas.com. I'm Michael Miller, and this is Tourism Today.
Those youngsters of the King's Trust about the values of the good old days. Can't wait for that.
And our Lloyd Allen brings us up to date on a much-needed upgrade to UB's music department.
Plus, the Humane Society speaks to delinquent dog owners. Yes, dog owners, get your act together.
And coming up in sports, BAISS soccer champs kickoff at the Roscoe Davies soccer pitch.
The Bahamas Tonight Access Now starts now.
Good evening, everyone. I'm LaDawn Davis.
And I'm Marlena Leonard. Welcome to the Bahamas Tonight Access Now.
Well, Marlena, Parliament was hot, hot, hot today. What do you say?
Yes, indeed. And our counterparts who go ahead of us carried that story.
Indeed, they did. Nothing to see here and definitely nothing to talk about. So let's dive right into the news, shall we? Who better to advise youth leaders on how to mold the next generation than our head of state, Governor General, Her Excellency Dame Cynthia Pratt. Still affectionately known as Mother, she has created opportunities for many young people to obtain tertiary education and has supported a plethora of youth programs. Speaking at the King's Trust International Bahamas Youth Sector Conference, which wrapped up at Breezes Resort today, she shared how the morals and values of yesteryear are so important for the youth of today. Felicity Darville tells us more.
The magic of a peaceful and prosperous Bahamas must be built on the firm foundation laid by our ancestors, one in which manners and respect were the order of the day. Governor General, Her Excellency the Most Honorable Dame Cynthia Pratt, said in her day they did not have technology, but they had family and each other.
We grew up hard. We had little to no distraction during my day. iPad and mobile devices were not existent during my time. Our parents were not as educated and exposed as the parents of today. But they cared and always wanted us to receive a good, sound education. Many in my generation studied with the aid of kerosene or candlelight. Proudly, though, we were children of integrity. We had principles and we had values. We upheld the standards of decency and honesty.
Dame Cynthia said the children of yesteryear were dressed appropriately at all times, went to church, and lived by the principles they were taught.
I intentionally mentioned my experiences as a child because it is critical for today's youth to understand that this was the heart of our upbringing, which was the highest standards. There was no compromise in this regard.
Today's youth, she said, has to deal with climate change and artificial intelligence. But if they lean on good old-fashioned values, their bright minds and willing hearts will prevail. For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Felicity Darville.
Thanks, Felicity. Well, the University of the Bahamas, a towering center for education in the country, but as told by our Lloyd Allen in this next report, a new level of growth may be the missing link to help the School of Music generate further advancements.
The music program at the University of the Bahamas, electively one of the most popular programs among alumnus like myself. But since my days at the university, the H block remaining an eyesore on campus remains in dire need of resources. And despite that, continues to produce students of exceptional ability.
I intend to grow this department with mainly using my platform, which is Just Vibe. It's a platform that inspires and motivates artistic expression through music.
Second-year music major Christian Thompson is one of just over 50 students who utilize the music block daily. And with a number of courses attached to the program, facilitating all students is becoming increasingly difficult.
What we have are incredibly talented, driven students. We also have a wonderful faculty that works really hard. What we don't have are adequate practice facilities.
Dr. Curtis Streetman is a new addition to the music department and is hoping for an expansion of facilities.
Sometimes we get to use the Performing Arts Center, but we need something that we have control over so that these students can grow into world-class artists that experience and provide artistry performing in worthwhile spaces. Right now we kind of scramble in this room or that room, or maybe this church or that church, or we did a concert at the baseball stadium, and we're grateful to have those resources at our disposal. But we need something more in-house for the continued growth of the students.
Associate Professor Christian Justilian says over the past 25 years, numbers have continued to climb, and with several ensembles and other groups conducting concerts and other performances, getting more legroom is now more than a desire, but instead a necessity. He adds even finding space for instruments like the piano remains a struggle.
We just got another piano donated. We've had over the years maybe 2 or 3 pianos donated. We have pianos that we can't put on the line because we don't have the rooms and the space to put those pianos, and they're desperately needed since every student have to play the piano.
Justilian and others are hoping that the celebration of culture and Bahamian pride are enough to generate a new thrust toward a larger space. For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Lloyd Allen.
Thanks a lot, Lloyd. Well, the rate of value-added tax was slashed by half on certain food items yesterday. This was done to assist Bahamians who may have had a hard time grappling with the high cost of living. And even though this adjustment has meant lots of preparation for businesses like SuperValue, the company's president, Deborah Simonet, says it is delightful to see customers get some financial relief.
No, we just thank God that the government is doing this because we're so happy for our customers. Our customers all are always ready for a nice decrease in prices, and this is going to help them to take their budget further.
Sharon Roll is one of many customers thrilled about the new VAT rate.
Because we didn't need that, you know. Some people didn't have it and was not, but thank God. God is good. All the time, we pray and God deliver. Amen for that. Hallelujah.
Well, dogs are supposed to be a man's best friend, but lately there's been an increase in the number of irresponsible dog owners allowing their pets to roam the streets malnourished and in need of medical care. As we observe Animal Cruelty Month, shelter manager of the Bahamas Humane Society, Percy Grant, is encouraging Bahamians to be sure they're fully committed to providing pets with the best care possible before choosing to adopt.
The complaints of animal cruelty is increasing daily. People call, I mean, every single day. We have 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 cases of people calling in of various animal cruelty, people tying dogs on short chains, no shelter, no water, no food. They go inside and watch TV in an air condition. And so we know we have a mental problem here too. We have the whole society seems to be, I don't know, somewhat, I don't know if it was COVID, but we have there was a big breakdown mentally from the things and the actions that the Humane Society see.
The large number of stray dogs wandering around on our streets could also have a rippling effect on the way tourists view our country. But Grant says before that happens, he hopes that the animal laws are strictly enforced.
We had the enactment of the Veterinary Act, remember, which was passed, and in that act, it also talked about citations that was in the AG's office, and we are still waiting. They were supposed to be from the AG's office now and on the commissioner's desk, the previous commissioner, and we're hoping that they would do these citations, and meaning I should say use the word citation more American, more ticketing, where people be fined for various infractions of animal cruelty and animal abuse.
Still to come, well, it's Wednesday, and I'm sure you know what that means. It's time for Leno's Wealthwise, all the financial help you can get. Stay close.
Bulk up your business and communication with parents, students, and staff in seconds with a live business bulk SMS messaging. This is the perfect tool to keep you connected and easily send important updates, event reminders, and emergency alerts. Keep your campus informed and connected with bulk SMS messaging from a live business. The right choice for fast, reliable communication. For more information, contact the experts.
Welcome back. Our drone pilot, Neville Big Nev Smith, is out there flying in the Clifton Pier area. Beautiful scene there, Nev. He's captured Sacred Spaces, the artwork of Antonius Roberts, one of the best multimedia artists in the Bahamas. Clifton Pier also has some of the deepest waters in the country. Just breathtaking. But don't get too carried away there, because we're due for a trip to Eleuthera. Let's go.
Prioritizing inclusive, sustainable growth is the theme for this year's Eleuthera Business Outlook, all set for Eleuthera's Business Hub in Rock Sound tomorrow. Minister of Tourism, Investments and Aviation and Deputy Prime Minister, the Honorable Chester Cooper, will be leading the cadre of speakers on the agenda. Spearheaded by the Councillors Limited, the 2025 Eleuthera Business Outlook aligns with the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals that are expected to be realized by 2030. For Eleuthera Chamber of Commerce President Thomas Sands, it catapults the island's business sector.
The Outlook series has become an opportunity, I think, to bring recognition to Eleuthera, to bring the players to us, to bring the subject matter to Eleuthera, to encourage investors, local businesses, persons who are thinking about coming home, to be in a space and engage. And this year we have the DPM present, talking about things like infrastructure, real estate, business opportunities, the number of government agencies as well coming to speak in terms of their various departments. But to bring that discussion in context of Eleuthera and what is happening in Eleuthera and where the opportunities.
This year's Business Conclave will be held for 2 days, Thursday's meeting in Rock Sound, South Eleuthera, and at the Valentine's Resort in Harbour Island, North Eleuthera on Friday. The Chamber President hopes this move can attract even more business opportunities for Eleuthera.
After you live here and understand where you're at, you begin to understand the importance of all of us together and the participation of all of us together. And, we as Bahamians tend to get caught in our little circle. But the economy, first of all, the economy of the Bahamas is bigger than Nassau. And then when you get into the Family Islands, the economy of Eleuthera, and if we go through the line, is the cruise industry, the high-end resorts, the Gulf resorts, the vacation rentals, the fishing industry, the farming industry. It's a multitude of different activities, but they make the whole, and it's very important that we discuss that.
Abnormalities and developmental disorders like autism should not be looked at as bad by the public or as a death sentence by parents, but instead just different. During a sit-down with Danielle Dean, a local physician passionate about getting this message across, talks more about the condition.
In her 10 years of testing children for autism, pediatric consultant and clinical director of Kids First Pediatrics, Dr. Deshawn Saunders, sees the need for more local attention on the neurological and developmental disorder.
A few years ago, when I had a child that came, he could not talk, and, everybody was concerned, is he deaf? And I realized that, hey, this is something that I really need to go into.
Contrary to what some might believe, according to Dr. Saunders, autism cannot be detected internally. But there are also, she says, a number of external telltale signs.
Some kids may have a delay in speech, meaning that they can't talk. Some kids can talk, but their language may be repetitive, so they may repeat everything that you say. Or some kids, they can talk, but their intonation is different. So whether they talk like a character, or they talk like they're from England or from the U.S., and so that's the language aspect of it. Socially, some of our kids may not play with other children, so they prefer to be alone. Some kids have texture issues, so they may want to just walk up to you and touch you.
This means if the signs aren't explicit, it's more difficult, requiring that much more work to detect, even for parents.
It's a lot of emotions because it's hard when a kid is not typical, so meaning, of course, you expect for your kid to walk, run, play with other kids.
A pill that's tough to swallow. Some parents even noticing abnormal behavior from their kids, but still in denial.
What I always say to my parents, the earlier we can diagnose a kid, the earlier you can put an intervention. All right, when a kid is younger, their brain is plastic, and so it's moldable. But as a kid gets older, they get set in their ways, they get set in their activities, and a lot of times it's harder to change.
Autism awareness activities continue this evening with the Lighted Up Blue ceremony in Rawson Square. Reporting for the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Danielle Dean.
Great story there, Danielle. Well, building wealth isn't just about present, it's also about securing a legacy for future generations. Tonight, we explore how trust can be designed to support multiple generations while maintaining financial security. Here's Diane Dorset.
A well-structured trust can protect assets, provide for loved ones, and even adapt to changes in the family's needs over time. A key advantage of a trust is that it can be designed to provide long-term financial security for multiple generations. Sharon Colberg, Managing Director of Leno Trust, explains how this is done.
A trust can be structured to ensure that your assets last through generations with careful, proper planning. What a trustee would do is bring in the investment manager, and together we would formulate a plan, a proposal to make sure that the assets are not only growing, but it's going to endure for generations.
One of the biggest concerns in multi-generational planning is ensuring that funds are used wisely. Colberg says some key safeguards can be built into a trust to prevent reckless spending.
Every beneficiary is going to be different. Some beneficiaries are going to be responsible and they're able to take their distributions in full. Some beneficiaries will require that we have intermittent payments. Those we will do to ensure that the trust lasts as long as possible through generations.
But what happens when family dynamics change? Can a trust adjust to new circumstances over time?
First of all, during the lifetime of the settlor, we can amend, we can make changes, we can ensure that trusts meet their needs. What we do is we meet regularly with our clients so that we ensure that the trust is benefiting the needs that they have. As family dynamics change, the trustee can move and make sure that the trust is working with the family.
From wealth preservation to responsible financial management and adaptability, trusts provide a powerful tool for securing a family's legacy. For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Diane Dorset.
Thanks a lot, Diane. It's always good to hear from our friends at Leno. Let's take a look at what's coming up in sports.
Game 1 of the BAISS Soccer Championships kicking off at the Roscoe Davies Soccer Field. Details of that story and more coming up in sports.
Are you or a loved one under medical care? Do you need affordable medical supplies? Ports International is the largest home health care supplier. Medical supplies at the very best price. And you can even shop online. From hospital beds to wound care, wheelchairs to walkers, Ports is a one-stop shop for your medical supplies, and we accept insurance. We have online shopping and 2 locations to serve you, at the Airport Industrial Park and Shirley Street. We also ship to the Family Islands. Shop online and visit us on Facebook. Call Ports at 377-1771.
Welcome to your Wednesday Sports Check, everyone. I'm Amajal Knowles, topping sports. The private school soccer stars taking to the pitch on Tuesday for Game 1s of the BAISS Soccer Championships. Our Eugene Stewart roaming the sidelines over at the Roscoe Davies Soccer Field and lets us know who picked up some pivotal Game 1 victories.
The BAISS Soccer Championships in the junior division getting underway yesterday at the Roscoe Davies Soccer Field. First matchup for the girls featured Windsor School and the Comets of Queens College. From the opening kick, Windsor would hold the Comets to strong defense as they worked their offense. At the half, Windsor would hold the Comets to a strong 4-0 lead as they continued to dominate. Isabel Kennedy would have herself a game as Windsor would secure this one 8-0.
Really, I was not expecting that, but I'm really glad with how I did, and I'm really happy. I'm really proud of my team, and I'm really happy that we have won this year.
Head coach Katie Roach says this one was a long time coming.
It's once in a lifetime, I think. I mean, I hope it happens again. I mean, that's the goal. But we celebrate all wins, the small wins, the big wins, and we use that as motivation moving forward. Just want to say this was 3 years in the making. Congratulations to QC. We lost to them 3 years ago. We didn't make championships last year, and this year we brought it home, so I'm very proud of the girls.
On the boys' side, the Lifer Key Dragons took on the St. Andrews Hurricanes. This one was all about hustle from the opening kick. As St. Andrews looked to find their mark, the Dragons would draw first blood and continued their lead at 2 goals at halftime. Looking to rally back from the deficit, the Hurricanes continued to fight, but the Dragons would conquer the Storm 5-0. Head coach Daniel Waitman on his squad's performance.
Always awesome to win a championship. These boys played really well today. It was a decisive win, and you don't always get that in a championship. So a lot of kids, all the kids, every single player contributed to the win today and getting us this far. So really proud of the boys.
Leader of the pack, Dirk Simmons, says it was all a team effort.
It wasn't just me. It was my teammates. They gave me the opportunities to go on goal and just score, so it's a big thanks to them. Me and the boys, we played great. We played good football, and I think we really deserved it.
Senior girls and boys championship action continues on Thursday. Reporting for ZNS Total Sports, I'm Eugene Stewart.
And that's my look at your sports on this Wednesday. A check on weather when we return.
While others see customers as numbers, we see our customers as people, neighbors, friends who deserve more than one-sided connections. That's why we are redefining what real connection is by prioritizing our customers and showing our appreciation by putting our money where your loyalty is. BTC customers, claim your $200 Bahamas Air gift card when you add postpaid mobile to your internet plan. That's loyalty that flows both ways.
It's time now for your Access Weather Forecast. An area of high pressure has rebuilt across the islands, and that results in a return of the breezy conditions, which will be with us for several more days. Now, your boating forecast tonight is brought to you by Live Business, where we bulk up your business. For the Northwest Bahamas, tonight through Thursday, the winds are going to be southeast at 12 to 18 knots. The wave height 3 to 6 feet. Your high tide, that will take place at 16 minutes past midnight, with a low tide at 6:49 tomorrow morning. And for the central and southeastern islands tonight and Thursday, southeast winds at 15 to 25 knots, very rough seas at 5 to 8 feet over the ocean. So we have an advisory in place for boaters in the central and southeastern islands. And then on Friday in the northwestern islands, no change there. We continue with that southeast flow at 12 to 18 knots. The wave height 3 to 6 feet. So caution flags are in place for the northwest Bahamas. High tide on Friday, that will take place at 7:53 in the morning with a low tide at 1:44 in the afternoon. And for the central and southeastern islands, a slight reduction in the winds, southeast at 15 to 20 knots, the wave height subsiding 4 to 7 feet. So we'll also maintain caution flags for the central and southeastern islands on Friday. That's going to do it for your boating forecast. It's time now for your international temperatures, and they're brought to you by Royal Star Assurance.
She's keep up about 1,000 inside a bra. She want a young man come and rev that engine like car. I think she graduate with my mom. But when she calling, no slap him, no I tell her I come and
And that's going to do it for your international temperatures, brought to you by Royal Star Assurance. But join me at 11 o'clock for full weather update. LaDawn and Malina.
Thanks a lot, Basil. What's up next, Marlena?
Well, let's take a look at Let's Talk Socials with our Matea Cunningham.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Socials, where we break down the trending topics and give you the real tea, straight, no chaser. And today, social media is in an uproar because gospel legend and pastor Marvin Sapp is facing some serious backlash. If you haven't seen the clip yet, let me set the scene.
There's 1,000 of you. I said close them doors. Ushers, close the doors. Close the doors. We all gonna leave together. Y'all ain't going no place but to the restaurant. I'm challenging each of you all down here to give a $20 seat.
Yes, you heard that right. Marvin Sapp was at the 109th Pentecostal Assemblies of the World Convention in Baltimore when he asked for a whopping $40,000 in donations, breaking it down to $20 from 1,000 people in person and 1,000 watching online. But the real controversy, he instructed those ushers to close the door. Check out some reactions shared on digital platforms.
Ushers, close the doors. Close the doors.
Excuse me, I gotta go.
Close the doors.
Excuse me, I gotta go.
Y'all ain't going no place but to the restaurant.
Listen, I know you in the church and you're doing your ushering thing, but if you don't move out my way, I'm gonna usher you right up to Jesus.
Others defended Sapp, saying that biblical fundraising is nothing new and that this is just how conferences cover costs. But let's talk about what Sapp himself had to say. According to him, closing the doors was about keeping a reverent atmosphere and ensuring security during giving. So the question is, was this just a pastor doing what pastors do, or was this a little too aggressive? And that's all for today on Let's Talk Socials. Until tomorrow, keep scrolling.
Boy, what a story there, Matea. That does it for Access Now for tonight, Malena.
Well, join us tomorrow at 7:30 for more Access Now. But for now, stay tuned for the rundown with Clint Watson.
Good night, everybody.
Hey, what's up, Mario?
Hey, Dale, what's going on?
Have you seen ZNS new digital platforms?
No. Let me go check it out.
Good day, Bahamas. I'm Devontae Hanna, and this is ZNS Digital,
where we cater to your news and entertainment needs. Are you a foodie? I thought so. Then look out for Digital Bites.
Shining a light on Bahamians and the good that they do, ZNS Digital is home to the Sunshine Room.
Keeping up with the latest trends, our original content will keep you entertained.
Yeah, that's cool.
But have you seen the new website?
No, I didn't see it. Let me go look.
We're still your most trusted source for news and information.
That's ZNS Digital?
Yeah, that's ZNS Digital, the people station in your pocket.
Exuma is the place for excitement at the National Family Island Regatta. April 23rd through 26th, tune into the ZNS network for Regatta Time. Sailors from around the country will gather in picturesque Elizabeth Harbor for the ultimate showdown, and we'll be right there. Don't miss Regatta Time, April 23rd through 26th at 4 p.m. right here on the ZNS network.
Join us for Classroom Chronicles with host Miss Ebony Johnson, where teachers provide solution-based critiques about teacher-related topics in education. Join us as we discuss teacher morale, the real deal.
Covering the news seems easy, but we put thought into what we're doing. The Bahamas Tonight Access Now, here to inform, educate, and entertain. a new type of newscast featuring social media trends, news from around the islands, interviews with the people you like in our communities, sports, weather, and fabulous entertainment. That's a Bahamas Tonight Access Now with Marlena Leonard and LaDon Davis. 7:30, Monday to Friday. Only the sun covers the Bahamas better.
At Harold One, I'm Ted Jervis, and this is ZNS.
The Rundown is brought to you by Commonwealth Brewery Limited. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the show. It's great to have you with us. We're back in studio here in the Capitol tonight. The big story tonight is another political defection. This time, former Free National Movement Member of Parliament for Central Grand Bahama, Iram Lewis, is out and has decided to join the Coalition for Independence. It's a story that's been the talk of the town all day, and no doubt we're going to join in that chorus tonight, being a little late in the broadcast. We're going to get to that. A very exciting show for you tonight. But first, to the headlines of the day. I wanted to talk about the Bahamas. Of course, is now among the countries targeted by those global tariffs levied by the United States government. Late this afternoon, U.S. President Donald Trump announced a 10% reciprocal tariff on the Bahamas, Trinidad and Tobago, Barbados, and Jamaica that will take effect at 12:01 a.m. this Saturday, April 5th. Now, it's all a part of what President Trump brands as, quote, Liberation Day. According to the White House website's tariff fact sheet, President Trump is invoking his authority under the International Emergency Economic Powers Act of 1977 to address the national emergency posed by the large and persistent trade deficit that is driven by the absence of reciprocity in our trade relations and other harmful policies like currency manipulation and exorbitant value-added taxes perpetuated by other countries. I know that's a lot. We're going to break it down for you. The White House's fact sheet also noted that these tariffs will remain in effect until such a time as President Trump determines that the threat posed by the trade deficit and underlying non-reciprocal treatment is satisfied, resolved, or mitigated. Well, our Minister of Economic Affairs, Senator the Honorable Michael Alcides, told our Felicity Darville that the Bahamas was already in the early stages of the trade war ahead of Trump's announcement. Take a look.
The United States imposing across-the-board tariffs today expected to cause even greater disruptions to the global economy than the tariff policies themselves. Countries around the world are bracing for the impact. China, Japan, and South Korea talking about forming a trade bloc of their own to protect their region. The European Union stepping up relations with South America and planning new trade agreements. And many countries are looking to Africa to secure food sustainability. Minister of Economic Affairs, the Honorable Michael Alcides, saying that we were already in the early stages of a trade war.
So there's a lot of uncertainty. We don't know what will happen. The danger for us here in the Bahamas is that some protracted and severe trade war leads to recession in the U.S., which would impact us or even leads to a global recession. So we have to be aware. There's very little we can do to impact circumstances, but I think, as I said before, one of the important things that we can do is prepare ourselves in terms of how we manage our economy, how we manage our finances to deal with any sort of fallout. A lot of this, we are observers. We see what happens today. We are in a wait-and-see mode. But we are hopeful that, there's some resolution and we don't get to an all-out trade war that would impact the economies of the world and us as well.
The United States, he said, is our major trading partner and the source of most of our resources. But the government is already focused on trade diversification.
The cost of living, for example, impacting the Bahamas so severely, we have a trade diversification committee that is looking at ways to get goods here more directly. So, for example, you have goods produced in Central or South America, the Caribbean, go up to Miami or Jacksonville or wherever, and then come back down to the Bahamas. If we can get them the very same thing, same can of whatever it is, directly here, then you cut out the cost of all that intermediate shipping. So we're looking at things like that.
The minister remains hopeful that our own negotiations with America will take place as we work to maintain the safety and vibrancy of our country. For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Felicity Davil.
Well, this just in from the office of the Prime Minister. The government has taken, in a statement, they said the government has taken note of the announcement by U.S. President Donald Trump to impose, of course, a 10% reciprocal tariff on several countries, Caribbean countries, including Bahamas, that export duty-free to the United States under the Caribbean Basin Initiative. It is important to note that the Bahamas currently maintains a trade deficit with the United States. We will engage with our U.S. counterparts, according to the statement, and work collectively with our CARICOM partners in response to this development. The government has approved a national trade policy aimed at diversifying trade. As part of our broader strategy to protect the Bahamian economy, we have already announced a number of measures, including the development of a trade diversification framework, which you heard the minister talking about. We remain focused, according to the press release, on minimizing the impact of global trade decisions on Bahamian businesses and consumers. And that, of course, is coming in from the office of the Prime Minister. And, of course, we can tell you that's why this diversification is critical. Because with all of these developments that are taking place with our neighbors to the north, the United States, the Bahamas is going to have to depend heavily on being able to source goods and services and food, especially from other countries, other sources that we may not have given ear to before. It's now time to turn to those for attention, or else we're going to find ourselves paying ungodly prices, is the best way to put it. Well, to provide a bit more clarity, the White House indicated that today's President Trump's order also contains modification authority, allowing him to increase the tariff if trading partners retaliate or decrease the tariffs if trading partners take significant steps to remedy the non-reciprocal trade arrangements. Boys, no end to this, and align with the United States on economic and national security matters. Now, some goods will not be subject to the reciprocal tariff, including steel, aluminum articles, auto sales, auto parts. They're already subject to Section 232 tariffs. Copper, pharmaceuticals, semiconductors, lumber articles, energy, and other certain minerals, we're being told, that are not available in the United States, among some other things. So we're going to have to watch and see how this plays out, because if we don't prepare for what obviously the United States is doing and clamping down with other countries in the world, then we could find ourselves paying higher prices despite best efforts here to bring the cost of living down into comparison. Well, meantime, there's another issue brewing. Transport Minister JoBeth Colby-Davis is tonight responding to the U.S. State Department's recent revision of its travel advisory to the Bahamas. The U.S. has issued a level 2 advisory to its residents about travel here to the Bahamas, warning travelers to exercise increased caution because of criminal activity. Now, the advisory also singles out the country's boating industry, which it warns is not well regulated, noting that sexual assaults by jet ski operators have been reported. Today, Minister Colby-Davis acknowledged that she is aware of some of the concerns with the industry. She says a review is currently underway by the Port Department. She awaits the recommendations.
We have been reviewing and assessing how we are processing jet skiing and the areas and locations where we have them presently set up to launch for our business for the tourist sector. And there have been some concerns raised. And so there was a meeting where they shared some of the concerns, and they also spoke to recommendations. And the port is now internally preparing a report for me to advance conversations at Cabinet.
So my advice, encouraging all of you to learn about how this tariffs will impact you. Go online, read as much as possible from the government and international websites. It's important that all Bahamians become familiar with these financial moves, as it will impact the Bahamas now. That's the financial moves we're talking about, but not just financial moves, also we're talking about regulations, right? Because you want to know where to be compliant. We were talking just now about JoBeth Colby-Davis and, of course, what's happening in the jet ski industry. But it's important for you to become aware all right, of what is happening, not just on the trade tariffs front, but also in the industry. Most of you we all play a part in tourism. We're involved in the tourism sector. We're involved in the tourism industry. That means you ought to know what the regulations are there so that if there's any violation, we know exactly what we need to fix as a country and be aware of it. The microscope is on the Bahamas. We're the envy of the world still, believe so. And so people are going to try and find ways to come at us. So we have to make sure we are compliant as much as possible in every way. Now said, I know that's not what you're tuning into tonight. We know what the big story is tonight. Everyone's talking about the former Free National Movement MP for Central Grand Bahama, Aaron Lewis, officially announcing his move to the Coalition of Independents. Many were surprised by this action. And tonight we're going to talk to, of course, Coalition of Independents Party leader Lincoln Bain, who is on the rundown and still waiting to check on some things. And we're going to start the discussion right after the break. You're watching the rundown on the ZNS network. This is going to be quite interesting tonight. There's more after the break. Stay with us.
At Frame Studio, as soon as you enter the door, we showcase any individual that comes in there and make it feel like they are at home. The space itself is 1,800 square foot. Our side wall, which is industry standard also, is 24 feet wide. You can do anything that you can possibly think of. At Frame Studio, under our theme, Now Create More, we look at Frame Studio as a canvas. And any artist knows a canvas is blank, and then you create whatever you want to do, right? So we have where you could rent tools. We even have workstations that people could rent out. To anyone inspiring to do what I've done, or what my colleagues have done, or any other journey, I would say to you, don't be afraid. The worst someone can actually tell you is no. So if you have a vision, you have an idea, not everyone will get it. But if you believe in your vision, you believe in your idea, I say go wholeheartedly at it.
For more information about the Creative Entrepreneurs Initiative and the Crafting the Bahamas workshops, email info@sbdcbahamas.com or call us at 461-7232.
I am a master plumber by profession. I've been doing plumbing for over 40 odd years. When I was 9 months old, I was diagnosed with polio. To me, living with polio, I took it the way it is. I never allowed my polio to get in my way of anything. In fact, I love when people doubt me, and I just prove them wrong. And let me tell you, in the world, you could only find a plumber as good as me, but you ain't gonna find no plumber better than me. People with disability, they just need a chance. In this program, I feel so encouraged. Most of the mentors have different kind of disability, but disabilities like me. Sharing and caring and showing so much support with people with disability. They would encourage you to go beyond. I wish this was around a long time ago. Right now, I would have been a millionaire. You out there who have a disability, don't be afraid. Take the step. If you believe it, you could achieve it. And remember one thing, ain't no one better than me, and ain't no one better than y'all. God made all us equal.
For more information about how the SBDC can help your small business to make a big impact, give us a call at 461-7232 or visit sbdcbahamas.com.
Bahama Striping Group of Companies, we have been in Exuma now for the past 4 years, carrying out our paving program. A part of our company's philosophy is producing work to international standards. So when you look at our paving division, we have a state-of-the-art lab to do all of our testing in-house, as well as a state-of-the-art asphalt plant with a trained technician carrying out the work on that site. The overarching goal of our company is to produce the work that we're doing in the entire Bahamas to international standards. We also make a difference by the training of our staff. We have a very intensive training program going on to where we are teaching young men how to learn the art of striping. Being a young man myself, I've made mistakes in the past. I was given a second chance to better my life, and it's only fitting that we pass it along. What's important for us is giving them a second chance for them to get a skill and a career that could take them further in life.
Welcome back to the Rundown. A special good night to all of you who are joining us in the Lion's Den, those of you watching on YouTube, those of you watching your first platforms, Flow, Digicel, and Turks and Caicos Islands, around the Caribbean, internationally, or right here at home. Welcome. It's always good to have you joining us every night. Well, one man down. The opposition's parliamentary caucus reduced after one of its senior members forged an alliance with outside forces, changing the landscape of the lower chamber of parliament. Our Devonde Hanna tells us what's behind the now former FNM MP's decision on what happens next.
It is with this responsibility in mind that I announce my decision, painfully yet courageously, to withdraw from the Free National Movement caucus.
In an unexpected move, Central Grand Bahama MP Iram Lewis today stood to his feet and announced on the floor of the lower chambers his decision to formally end ties with the Free National Movement and a subsequent historic shift to a fledgling third party.
From this day forward, I will sit as the first member of parliament representing the coalition of independent party.
Lewis cited a lack of support, an erosion of trust, and internal strife within the FNM among the key reasons for his departure from the party, which he has served since entering frontline politics in 2017.
I'll no longer remain where I'm tolerated, but where I believe I'm appreciated. Behind the scenes discussions, whispers and implications have eroded the trust that should exist between the party and its dedicated members. That the FNM that I see today does not entirely reflect the party I have known and loved all my life.
The shocking decision prompting a response from Prime Minister the Honourable Philip Davis, who chalked up the switch to merely democracy at play.
So we respect the member for what he's done and chose, and we also respect the leader of the opposition for taking the positions that he's been taking, because he has the right to do that as well.
All right, now FNM leader Michael Pintard used a portion of his address in the House of Assembly this afternoon to address Iram Lewis's departure from the party.
Thank you to the Honourable Iram Lewis for the contribution you've made to the Free National Movement over a number of years, and to say to you and to your family that we wish you the best in your endeavors. The Free National Movement as an organization has released a statement, Madam Speaker, that speaks more fully to the matter.
So as you can imagine, that was brief, right? So here's what the statement continued. The party did note that the FNM's executive committee has called Mr. Lewis's behavior into question on more than one occasion. Further, that the Constituency Association recently requested that Mr. Lewis not be renominated for the next general elections. Now, the statement added that the party is moving to identify a replacement candidate. Well, Grand Bahama residents also speaking out on Lewis's decision to resign from the Free National Movement and join the Coalition of Independents. Take a look what they had to say.
That's the best move ever for Iram, okay? Too long in the Bahamas, we have been here and we only thought about two parties, PLP, FNM, PLP, and there could never be a third party. And for him to make such a move, that shows volume.
That's a leader's choice, if to run against another person or not.
I think that that's a bold move, and it's a move we need to see more of.
The man only could speak for himself, but in my opinion, wherever he go, he'll be a good candidate.
All right, now how long has this move been in the making? What prompted a longtime Free National Movement party member jump ship? Well, we're going to talk about this tonight. Joining me is the leader of the Coalition of Independents, leader Lincoln Bain, to talk about some of the questions tonight. Iram Lewis was scheduled to join us, but we understand that he declined coming due to a toothache, we're told, and you may notice that he is doing an interview on another station where I'm told that was pre-recorded earlier while that interview is airing at this hour. Mr. Bain joins you live. Of course, you know, people, Mr. Lee, first of all, welcome. It's always good to have you here.
Thank you, man.
Thank you. I'm going to let you do your first damage control for your new member, because people are going to wonder, where is he? He needs to be here to answer questions and to talk, but you said you spoke with him and he has a toothache.
Yes, even before all of this, that was a challenge he's dealing with, and he has an appointment in the morning, but he couldn't make it.
Couldn't make it. Yeah. Okay, so nonetheless, the show goes, as I said, the show must go on. We're going to continue this show tonight without Mr. Lewis. He made the decision to join your organization. have you been in talks? How long did this take? How did this come about?
There was not talks for him to join the organization, but there were talks for quite some time about the Bahamas and where we're going as a country. And so I talked to him and I talked to other members of parliament. And for him, he was disturbed at where the country was going as a young person, that the country was failing, and that, you know, being a part of a party, you know, your hands are tied and you only do what the party wants you to do. But his concern was always for the country, and I respect that. You will see that, you know, that press statement that went out, they said there were 2 times they had to reprimand him. And I know about those 2 times because those were 2 times that he actually came out to stand up for the Bahamian people. One time he was at the Office of the Prime Minister with us when we had problems with the way citizenship was apparently being given to someone at a funeral, to an immigrant at a funeral. And so we decided to stand up against that. And as a Bahamian, he decided to come there. And the announcement was, we're not going there as a party, we're going there as Bahamians, and no one wore party paraphernalia, etc. And he decided to join us. He also didn't wear party paraphernalia.
So you think the FNM reprimanded him for that?
Yes, and I think that was actually sick of the FNM. They should be standing with us. We called for persons to stand up against what we felt was wrong. You know, in the end, you know, the minister is transferred, etc. But why wouldn't you stand with Bahamians who said, we're going to come out and say that this particular thing is wrong and this is not where the country should be going? He was warned not to go, and he still went because he thought it was right. So to reprimand, I think they should have been ashamed to say that they reprimanded a member of parliament for standing with the Bahamian people.
The FNM, sorry, go ahead.
The other one was in Grand Bahama when they were talking about raising the price of electricity. He's a representative, and I think that the FNM should have been there. And they weren't there. He decided to go, and of course they reprimanded him.
This Grand Bahama Power Company?
Yes.
The FNM released a statement saying that he was not really, they were having issues. They received a recommendation from the organization not to not to run him, not to nominate him again. I want to make sure I get the words right here. It would have said that Mr. Lewis, they received from the Constituency Association a request not to have him renominated. So they're saying that the FNM branch of the Central Grand Bahama constituency did not want him to be renominated again and ask for a new candidate. Do you think that would have led to his decision to come and join another party?
No, not based on the conversations that we were having. I think that he was disenfranchised with where the FNM has gone. It's not the FNM that he grew up in. And he was disenfranchised on where the country is going, and that the FNM has not put forward a vision to take this country forward. You know, they are just saying, we got next, remove the PLP and put us there. But, okay, what are you going to do? Other than, you know, just do the bidding of the people that fund you. He made an interesting comment during the press conference today. He said that the person behind the wheel is not necessarily in charge, something like that. And I think that he was implying that, he didn't say it, but I think it went over everyone's head, but he was implying that Pintard is not really in charge.
You don't think he's in charge of the FNM?
I know he's not in charge. Pintard is doing the bidding of those who fund him and those who put him there. And I'm saying that boldly, and he can sue me if what I'm saying is wrong. Don't sue ZNS, sue me. I do not believe that he is in charge of the FNM.
Why do you say that?
I believe that he's a puppet. And those days are gone. We're tired of members of parliament being put there just to do the bidding of those who make the money in the party or those who donate to the party. We need a new Bahamas where members of parliament can actually do what they can to better this country, and that the government can do what they can to better this country. And so we don't believe that that is the case. We've seen where the same people backing him benefit from contracts, etc. The last term, one man got $60 million in contracts in a short period of time, like a year or two. $60 million in contracts, Clint? And now you're complaining about the PLP and them saying that they're not doing procurement, they are getting contracts, but you did the same thing.
But Michael Pintard is saying that he represents a new era of the Free National Movement, a new kind of leadership, one that is going to be accountable, one that is going to govern, if they give them the opportunity, for the people. This is what Michael Pintard has been touting, that he is not the old guard of the FNM.
Clint,
he is different.
I'm going to take the advice of the only man who was wiser than Solomon, and that's Jesus Christ. He said, you don't put the new wine in the old wineskin. And there's no way you're going to get new out of old. We've gone through this over and over in this country, Clint. We have tried the party, then they say they brought in new people, new candidates, a new leader, everything. And we get worse and worse and worse. More taxes, more failure. They'll bring you candidates and try to impress you with these candidates. Say, oh, these are new qualified people. This is a new crew. And then when they get in, you'll be like, well, all these qualifications. Y'all are not making any sense. How much time are we supposed to go to this? In May, the FNM is going to release a few candidates based on my inside information. And they're going to try to say, oh, we're a new group of people and these new entrepreneurs.
These are going to be new faces to politics.
Right, these are new faces. And we've seen that over and over. The bridge to the future. And we have been swung over and over with the same thing. And nothing goes forward because the same people controlling the shots. We see the same people getting to distribute food and $11 checks to Bahamians. Have we forgotten that, Clint? The same people, all the West Coast. Why not give that to persons who have been distributing food for a long time? You give that to them, and the first thing that Pintard did when he became leader was defend them on that. Come on, these are the same kind of things, and I think Bahamians are tired of this, man. We got to do something different and something new.
When we, because, you know, at the end of the day, we know, I know we like to say that, you know, give new people, but these are people who obviously have backed organizations. All the West Coast have done good for our country. They have supported many people. They have funded. And I don't want to disparage that or not mention the good that they have done for the country. That's important to note. But what I think is also essential for us to talk about is what is at the root of why people or somebody as committed or senior as Hiram Lewis, somebody who served in the administration before under the FNM, would then walk away and say, I don't think this is the right move for me to stay. It then puts in the minds of so many people, how do you be a part of an administration? How do you be a part of a movement and speak for an organization and then all of a sudden say, well, no, I ain't for them no more, I don't believe in them more? It leaves voters and Bahamians concerned as to whether people just put on shows and say anything for saying its sake and then don't really mean it.
All of us have been a part of an organization or a part of a company or a part of a group, and you're part of it, you're trying to make it work, you're trying to be a team player, but at some point you realize that this isn't what I signed up for. And all of us have done that. Some of us has quit jobs because this isn't what I signed up for. And I think he reached the point where he is saying that this isn't what I signed up for. This has happened over and over in politics. It happened with Dissident 8. It's happened with Hubert Ingram leaving the PLP. It happened with Perry Christie leaving the PLP. We had other persons in politics from Tennyson Wells and others who said, you know what, this isn't the direction I want to go in. So he's decided the same thing. It wasn't because he didn't get a nomination. They have not rejected his nomination. He got no information that he was being rejected. And many times there'll be rumors going around, and in the end you still get the nomination. Right. So they didn't give him a letter and say, you're not going to be the person. They didn't even communicate with him and say, you're not going to be the person, as far as I know. But he just wanted to make a change at this time. He doesn't feel like the leadership is what it needs to be, and he doesn't feel like the party is going in the right direction, and I respect that.
What do you say to the people of Central Grand Bahama who perhaps feel as though, well, he never consulted with us. He didn't talk to us. How do we feel? They're saying, okay, we're now our community is now represented by the Coalition of Independents. We didn't vote for that. What do you say to the people in Central Grand Bahama who oftentimes say, well, people make these decisions in Parliament on their own, but what about us? Who put you there?
That's a good question. When you vote for a person, you're voting for that person. Right. They might be a part of a party or they may not, but you're voting for that person. And when that person goes through the process and wins, he's not representing the FNM or those who voted for him anymore. He's representing the entire community. So it's not about politics at that point or party at that point. That's why why you have to change the color of the party colors from your headquarters, etc. You're representing everyone. It's not about who voted for you, because then what do you say about the PLPs who voted against him? Which many of them did. It's not about who voted. You participated in the process to allow that person to be put forward. And then they go into the House of Assembly, and the party is not necessarily what is on the plaque in front of him. It's the constituency. You're representing everyone in that constituency. So it doesn't matter whether you voted for him as an FNM or PLP.
We're going to take a break. When we come back, I want to ask you, there's one man quiet today. I want to ask you, what do you think that means? And then we're going to talk about the Dr. Hubert Minnis factor. What does that mean? And then, of course, what does it also mean the coalition now has a seat at the table in Parliament? You're watching The Rundown here on the ZNS Network. We're back after this.
After 30 years of banking, I've decided to take a leap of faith. I moved from banking into an untapped industry, which is manufacturing in the Bahamas. And now we are standing on 3 acres of land on which we're going to be putting the Bahamas' first end-to-end plastic recycling company, Eden Recycling and Manufacturing Company Limited. Eden has 2 arms, recycling and manufacturing.
This is groundbreaking for us. It's never been done before. It really makes a difference, not only in the Bahamas, but even around the world. This is not just a project that we're doing so that we can make a couple of dollars. We want to make sure that it benefits those who come after us. In future generations, we hope that this is a small vision, that they will take it and they'll expand on it. We can have the formula for what it means to do end-to-end recycling in the Bahamas, in the region, and even if we have to export these ideas and thoughts and concepts even into the U.S.
Welcome back to The Rundown. My guest is the leader of the Coalition of Independents, Lincoln Bain, who now has a seat in Parliament. And we're going to talk a little bit about that. If you see me smiling, it's because, you know, on commercial breaks, we talk about some very interesting facts that come up. And we're going to talk about some of those in this break, and you'll see why I have this grin on my face, because it's interesting to hear Lincoln Bain's take on some things of what could possibly be happening and brewing. But before that, we wanted to talk about, obviously, the factor of there's some obvious silence today. If you notice, as the exchange took place, well, first of all, when the announcement was made, the leader of the FNM, Michael Pintar, was not in Parliament at the time. And then he came back and he made a very blanket statement, thanked him for his service and moved on, and referred to the press release, which kind of said a little more. And there was also former Prime Minister, Dr. Hubert Minnis. Quiet. What do you make about that?
I think he is just trying not to make any political mistakes and not trying to get in it. If someone is treating you badly and treating you, behaving like an enemy, and they're messing up, it's best for you to not get in it.
Stay quiet, stay out of it. In your fight.
Let them hang themselves. And I think that's what's really going on, and that's wisdom.
Do you believe Michael Pintar is making mistakes?
He's making major mistakes. From he came in, from what I'm hearing from FNMs, the way he's treating persons, they're not appreciating that. And I think he needs to put on his leadership hat or take some advice from some people. You can't be a dictator and expect people, volunteers, supporters, to just go behind you. You're not paying these people. You have to watch how you speak to them, how you treat them, etc. When they decided to ban one of their executives from council, that was unheard of. They went to court and put a gag on every FNM. That was unheard of. Every FNM. No FNM could say anything negative about another FNM. That was a court injunction. I don't understand how a party could allow that to stand in a democracy. I don't care what judge that came from. That was out of order. This is democracy, freedom of speech, and that's the party that opened the airwaves. How do you allow that to stand? So things like that, and then silencing persons from speaking at different associations, etc., that disturbed a lot of FNMs. And so there's these kind of things, I think he needs to use more wisdom as a man and have some more confidence in himself as a leader to be able to make proper decisions and not decisions that's going to hurt the people around you.
I'm going to address the elephant in the room. Do you think the FNM will run Dr. Hubert Minnis, a former Prime Minister, again?
No, I'm aware that he was informed that they're not going to be running him.
A seat that this man has held since he's been in politics, they're going to risk that seat and not run him again.
Yes, and that's when you have insecure leadership, and I think persons supporting the FNM have to think about that. I don't care about their business. I'm not getting in their business, but you asked me a question. When Tommy Turnquest took over the FNM, you would think him still ran. No problem. Yeah, that's the man who's been running there. The people, of course, may want him, and so let him run. Let the people choose if they want him to continue. So there's people all over the world, prime ministers, who went onto the backbench. Even Winston Churchill did so. There's a lot of examples of that. Why not give the man honor since he's been there? If he wants to run, you let him run. If he doesn't, then you give him that respect. And so for that to happen this time, that's disrespectful to a lot of people. And for him to even have a question about whether he'd be running is disrespectful to some people. It's not my business, but that's how I feel some FNMs are seeing it. Now, some people bring up Loretta Turner, who didn't run with the FNM, and saying that was under Minnis, but they were persons who actually went against him, who actually was fighting him. In this case, some persons are saying that Minnis didn't really fight Pintard. He stayed back, stayed quiet, and when it was the convention time, he put himself forward, but every time he spoke, he said the party has one leader. All right, so it's a difference to some people.
If the FNM does not run him, because we won't know until they make an announcement. They may, people say politics makes strings bedfellows. They may just make them talk about him and decide to run him. If they decide not to run him, do you believe he will run independent?
I believe he will run independent and he will lose.
Why do you think he will lose?
Because I've been on the ground in Killarney, and Dr. Veronica MacGyver is our candidate there, and the people are loving her in Killarney. She is one of them. And the response that I am seeing from persons coming to their gates and welcoming her and wanting to be a part of her, and the amount of aid that she is giving to people, especially in the Gambia community, et cetera, people are loving her. And I think if they sleep on her, they're going to have some nightmares.
So you believe she can beat Dr. Minnis if
I
he
believe
runs
she
independent?
will beat Dr. Minnis. Dr. Minnis is extremely unpopular this time. I believe that the persons who voted for him last time, they just didn't want the Davis administration. And so they voted for him. But I believe that with a good candidate like Dr. MacGyver, that she is going to be in the House. I believe that.
Let's talk about the House. People said it will never happen. Coalition will never see the House of Assembly. Now, perhaps people didn't think it could happen this way. People probably figured they'd have to be elected in an election in a constituency and win. But your name will now be in the Halls of Parliament. What does that mean? That's historic today. What does that mean to you and your organization?
It is very historic. There's only one God, and only God determines what happens. And so we believe that they fought us hard to not get a seat in the by-election. But if God wants something to happen, it's going to happen anyway. I don't care how much money you spend or how much influence you wield. We are still in the House of Assembly. It didn't come the way they thought, but there's different ways to be in the House of Assembly, and this is one. And so we made history. No one has ever crossed the floor to a third party before. Has never happened. There are persons who were in parties who resigned, went independent, and then formed third parties.
Correct.
There's two examples of that. Brian McCartney and Moss.
DNA, yes.
Right? And so, but there's never been someone cross the floor to a third party. Now, it's historic that we are there because we're now a part of government. What does that mean? The government is not just the governing party. That's the executive.
Correct.
The government is all of the members of Parliament.
The form of Parliament.
And
the legislature.
Yes, the entire legislature, including the Senate. So now we're part of that process, whereas before we were on the outskirts, and people said that we would never win. But God has the final say. All right, and so we are in the House, and that is very significant because now we have a voice inside the House of Assembly, and we are going to express that voice. And you're going to hear from the Coalition of Independents on a weekly basis and on all of the bills that are being passed. So unlike Michael Pintard, who just votes for every bill that the governing party puts in front of him, we're going to make sure that we scrutinize each of these bills properly because he's being paid to oppose, to make sure that you find the loopholes in these bills and you expose them. And so since he's not doing his job, we're going to help. And we're going to make sure that we scrutinize everything that's going on. Also what's significant, Clint, is that we are now a part of the Public Accounts Committee because Hiram Lewis is a part of the Public Accounts Committee. And we have been the Public Accounts Committee for the general public for a very long time. And we've been there, Freedom of Information Act. Now we have that role legally. And I think that is God rewarding us for our hard work in making sure that the Bahamians are informed of what's going on in this country. And so we're tired of Pintard just saying he's going to ask these people questions and asking these random questions. No. We need proper investigations. And so now he is going to have some help because we're going to be in the Public Accounts Committee, and he's going to have access to all of our network of patriots all over this country who provide information to us.
What happens now? Because you would have had a successful launch. It was aired live on this network. You ran candidates in every constituency. What happens now to your candidate that you had for Central Grand Bahama? What happens now to that person?
We didn't launch a candidate for Central Grand Bahama.
You didn't launch one for Central Grand Bahama?
No, maybe.
That seems ironic.
Maybe it was Providence.
Was that the only place you didn't have a candidate?
No, it's 10 candidates that we haven't launched yet.
Oh, okay, all right, okay.
So some persons are still being vetted, etc. So,
okay, that just happened. I was just about to say that seems so calculating here. Some things will be afoot. Okay.
Yeah, so Central Grand Bahama is one of those. That was the only Grand Bahama seat that we didn't put someone in, and so we are glad that he is now on board.
Have you been to Grand Bahama, and what is a feeling on the ground? And I figured something it must have been afoot. Like when I was in Grand Bahama for the last 2 days over there, and people, I heard the fact that you were on the ground.
Yeah.
And I heard people saying, oh, something cooking. So clearly now we understand what was going on up in there, what y'all were working on. What is your feeling on the ground in Grand Bahama? Grand Bahama is a very unique place. And when I say unique place, I'm talking politically, where people call it as F&M, people say that's F&M country because they always win the larger amount of seats in that community during general elections, and people tend to always support the Free National Movement. There's that stronghold still there for the F&M because the political landscape seems to be quite interesting there.
Yeah, saying that Grand Bahama is F&M country is actually a condemnation. That's nothing that helps, because look at Grand Bahama. If Grand Bahama is F&M country and you have not gotten results, look at Grand Bahama. And don't say it's the Port Authority, because you have a government that can do some things. And don't just look at Freeport, look at East End and look at West End. Look at 8 Mile Rock. That is a condemnation on the F&M to say that Grand Bahama is F&M country.
But the people continue to support the F&M.
And we think it's time for the people to wake up, and we feel that people are waking up. Based on the support that we are getting on the ground. And before we made this decision with Hiram, I always do my due diligence. I think you know me by now. And I investigate and I do due diligence. We went on the ground, and I spent a lot of time there. People were like, why are you spending so much time in Grand Bahama? We went on the ground, we did our due diligence, we went into Central Grand Bahama, we spoke to the people. And a lot of the people were saying that, listen, we're going COI. And these are staunch PLPs.
I was about to tell you, listen, I mean, Central Grand Bahama, if you look at the political landscape, is what they call, if not the safe seat, one of the safe seats for the F&M, because the F&M has won it consecutively 7 times. And the F&M has even said in their statement, they have no doubt that they're going to win it again because they believe that's one of their strongholds where their supporters always turn out to support them. Matter of fact, the rumblings was that the reason why Ira might have been having some challenges is because the leader may have been trying to move from Marco City to a safer seat in Central Grand Bahama. Don't know if that's true, but that's what the rumblings were. it's a safe seat for the F&M. There's no denying that.
Don't misjudge the people when they're hurting. No one thought that Perry Christie could lose, Shane Gibson, Obi Wilscombe. No one thought that these people could lose.
True.
But they did. When the people are fed up and tired, anything can happen. And so Bahamians are a peculiar people, not just people of Grand Bahama. We've gone in that constituency and people have told us, even Iram went there and people would tell him, why don't you join the COI? People started to say it to him. And we, on the ground, we experienced that. The people were saying, no matter, been F&M all my life, been PLP all my life, we going with y'all. We tired. We don't care what they say with you. We are tired of them set because they are failing us. And if you go to Grand Bahama and just look around, there is no reason to vote for the F&M or the PLP. And so if you want change, try something different. You know what's going to happen if you vote F&M and PLP. What has been happening? Failure. More taxes, everything getting more expensive, the foreigners coming in, getting all the opportunities, the job, the land, everything else. Your children forced to move to another country. You want more of that? You want more taxes? I can't take it anymore. And this is why I'm fighting. You can't raise the VAT on food by 10% for 3.5 years and then come back for another year and say, okay, we're going to lower it to 5%. You didn't do me a favor. You did nothing for me. You're not lowering the cost of anything. You put it to 10%. We're tired of being hoodwinked and bamboozled by politicians. And that's why the Coalition of Independence formed. We're not politicians. The first real politician there is Iram. Right. Everyone else is real professional persons who are tired of the way this country going, man. We got to try something different, man. This ain't working. Fire engines, $300,000 cars, but no fire engine? $58 million on travel, no ambulance, no hospital, consultants, $80 million? This is not a criticism. This is a reality, man. We want a country that works. People dying in the hospital for no reason, for blood issues. Look at A&E. After 9 years of renovation. But $58 million on, come on, man. I am not speaking as a politician now, I'm speaking as a Bahamian who are hearing the cries of people. We can't, people crying out for help from social services, but they're hearing that immigrants getting help. Our cost to rent an apartment, $1,500 for a 1-bedroom, you know why? Because the immigrants are filling up all of the inventory of apartments. This country got to make sense, Clint. And if someone don't like me or they think I'm not perfect, bring the perfect man to come and do what I do in.
There is none.
And then I can step aside and go enjoy my children and my retirement.
There is none. Absolutely none. Let's take our final break. We'll be back to wrap up right after this. Stay close.
The internet isn't just for surfing. There's a sea of shoppers buying online, and you can connect with them on Tingsy. Tingsy is the SBDC's online storefront built for Bahamians. Take your business to the next level by selling to customers online, both at home and around the world. People want Bahamian things, and if you got things to sell, sell on Tingsy. Find out how you can connect with a sea of buyers by visiting tingsybahamas.com.
We're here at the Nassau Village Community Center project, where over the past 17 months, we've hired over 20 Bahamian subcontractors to bring this beautiful project to fruition.
I've been living in Nassau Village for more than 19 years, and to see a project like this bring great joy and pride to me.
This state-of-the-art multi-purpose community center will serve as a crime-fighting initiative in the community, also help with the education of our kids in this community, and a hurricane shelter.
Yeah, and it also shows what we as Bahamians can achieve when we work hand in hand with each other.
We have the technical know-how, and we can pretty much deliver on any project here in the Bahamas or in the world.
Bahamas Striping, a Bahamian company, they prove that they believe in Bahamians.
Based on the outcome of this project, I don't think they're disappointed in giving a small person an opportunity to do a job such as this.
The more opportunity they get, the more opportunity we will get.
If you look around and see the work done so far, it just shows what we as Bahamians can do.
Welcome back to the rundown, and of course, our guest is leader of the Coalition of Independents, Lincoln Bain. And we are wrapping up our discussion talking about, obviously, the crossing over of Hiram Lewis, who was a Free National Movement opposition member of Parliament, who is now a Coalition of Independents member of Parliament. And I guess it's important to ask, because people always say the dynamics between somebody who's in the House and a leader who's out of the House. How does that work? We saw it a couple times. It happened in the parliamentary history, and it seemed to be a different dynamics, because people always say, well, the leader should be the one who's in the House. Any intimidation, or you know, people, I'm gonna put it out there, I'm gonna ask. And I doubt it out, because Coalition of Independents, I've seen how they support you. So even asking the question, are you threatened by Hiram Lewis becoming leader of the party since he's in the House? It's always good to hear how the dynamics work. With you being a leader out of the House, Hiram's in the House. Any concerns about that dynamics?
No, not at all. I mean, there's no law that says that you have to be in the House to be the leader of the party. There's nothing that says that. And so I think that Hiram is a good Bahamian. And if he wants to be leader, and we have a convention, then he's free to do so. We've had more convention and elections than any of the major parties.
You have a convention again? Do you have a convention again before elections?
If it's this year, definitely not.
No.
We just had a convention. But if it's next year, maybe. And so if the people call for the convention, we'll have it. We're not afraid. I'm a leader who is confident in myself. I'm not like Pintard. I am confident that if I'm not the best person for the job, then someone else should do it. It's simple as that.
That's how you feel?
Yeah, if someone else can do a job better than me, then I will let them do that job. I will take advice from the janitor, the sweeper, all right? I do not have ego, and people who are around me, they will tell you that, they experience that. My executives have sometimes voted against things that I want to do. They're my executives. They're the person who is standing out there, putting themselves out there, so if they want to do something this way and I want to do it this way, I will go with them, because they are the person sacrificing themselves for me. And so that's the kind of leadership that we have in the COI, and that's why the people they lean towards me, because of the way I lead and the way I love in my leadership. I want to say this about the House of Assembly today. What was shocking was that the Progressive Liberal Party members of Parliament looked more concerned and disturbed than the F&M ones. The F&M ones were clearly concerned.
They were sitting there like, okay, whatever.
Yeah, but the PLP ones, if you look at their face, I'll show you the picture. I took a picture of them because we were like, wow, look at them. They look stressed out. Like, what are they concerned about? Normally, a governing party loves when a third party comes up, because that helps them stay in.
Right.
With George W. Bush, he won twice because of Ralph Nader and the Green Party. With Obama, even though he's unpopular in his second term, he won because of the Tea Party. And so you would think that they would be glad to see a third party coming up, because that would hurt the F&M, but they look terrified. And you can tell, because immediately they're trolls. We don't pay attention to trolls, but they're paid trolls. We know who they are. Their paid trolls immediately started attacking the COI. Now, normally, you would start going after the F&M, who is your formidable enemy, as far as you're concerned. You'd go after the F&M and criticize Pintard and his leadership and attack them and throw jazz. But they sent their trolls immediately to attack the COI over this. And that shows that they know something is in the air. They are threatened by us, and they should be. But what they're more threatened by than us is the people being empowered, because then the people won't be their slaves anymore. That's what they're afraid of. The people coming to the knowledge and the information of what this country is really worth, and the people being empowered. That's what they're afraid of.
Let me ask you, are there any, you've gotten Hiram to join the coalition. You scouting out anybody else? Are there any other announcements that may be hanging in the balance that are coming out? Just like you bend your lip. I know you have an answer for me.
It's possible. It's possible. But for Michael Pintard, when you go into the House of Assembly, as I said today, and you look to your right and look to your left, you wonder who is next.
Ooh. we're going to end this show early because that's the note I want to end on right there. I'm not going any further than that. I give you the final comment, final thought, Lincoln Bain.
All we want to do is fix this country. We thank Hiram Lewis for his service to the country so far. No man is perfect. And we thank him, and we thank him for the courage to do this. It takes a lot of strength to be able to do something like this. We thank him, and we thank the Bahamian people for supporting us and for allowing us to do what we're doing for them. We're serving them. And I just want the Bahamian people to know that we're going to continue fighting for you. We're going to put Bahamians first in this country. You are going to benefit from your natural resources. You are going to benefit from your carbon credits. You are going to be put first. There's not going to be equality in this country. You're going to be first. Because when I go to the U.S. Departure Lounge, they have a separate line for them and a different one, the long one for us. When I go to school in Florida or wherever, there's a different price for them and a different price for us. There's not equality. We are going to put Bahamians first for the first time in this country, and that's what this is about. This is not about politics. Some people think that we just want to get in there and we want power. No, we want to take power away from the politician and give it to the people through island states and city government. No one is going to do for you better than you are going to do for you. You don't have to trust the politician anymore. Now we're just going to put the power in your hands and we can walk away after we've put things in place. This is your country, Bahamas, not the politicians. They're not smarter than you. They don't deserve to live the best life, to live their good life while you are suffering and paying for it with more taxes. Bahamas, we're sacrificing. We've slept on jail cells because we love you. And we love this one country we got. We're going to bring our children home that has been expelled from this country because they were overqualified, and we're going to let them help build this new Bahamas. Let's get this right. Last thing, Fred Mitchell likes to always, he likes to call us names. When you're in a debate and you're losing, you then start calling the person names. He likes to call us idiots. That's what he likes to do, because we dare to challenge the cult mentality of the PLP and F&M, where you just serve a party without thinking. That's a cult mentality. And he dares to call us idiots, but I would put it to you, Clint, that if you make $3 billion a year and you can't pay your civil servants properly or on time, your reservists are crying out for pay, your nurses, your teachers, etc. are crying out for pay, your police officers can't get their gratuity, I think you're an idiot. If you are going to spend $300,000 on a vehicle and can't buy a fire truck, I think you're an idiot. If you're going to spend $58 million on travel and you can't give us proper water and electricity, etc., I think you're the idiot. If you collect money for roads every single time I buy my gas and license my car, but you can't fix the potholes, who's the idiot?
All right. Lincoln Bain, thank you. Always a pleasure having you. It's Dad Simons in the studio. Thank you so much for being here. It's a pleasure.
Thank you for having me.
That does it for the rundown. Be sure to stay locked to the ZNS network for the Bahamas tonight at 11. It's a final newscast of the country with the latest news and information with Royston Jones. Yeah, right over there hiding behind there. For all of us here at ZNS, I'm Clint Watson. Thanks for joining us. Good night.
At Fort Montague, I'm Opal Roach. This is ZNS. You and Your Money is brought to you by the National Insurance